Boy, what an end to the week, huh? Holy cannoli, man. May you live in interesting times. This has been a wild one, man. So anyway, talk for the day. I got the headline, traitor in chief, and this is how a lot of us longtime Trump supporters feel like we just cannot believe what we're seeing as like I said, as longtime Trump supporters, like as we all really pushed to get this guy elected. We really thought that he was going to usher in an era for this country that really spoke to the voters, like really spoke to us. This man, I mean, his whole platform just really spoke to us, like, in a meaningful way, especially as a guy who, never followed the path, right? We got a guy, this Donald Trump, who knows the furniture industry. This is my industry, like, who talks to blue collar people. And he's just like, man, like, this is great. He's talking about, getting the third world out of here, or at least less of them. He's talking about, bringing the rule of law back. And he's talking about, getting the woke culture out. And he's talking about, letting people be honest about real things, stop living in this fake kind of, woke culture that we had. I mean, the guy really spoke to us, talked about ending the conflicts in the Middle East, getting this whole Ukraine conflict over. He talks about bringing, energy back online, helping with the cost of living, building houses, all the I mean, the guy just set it off. I'm being completely honest, and maybe I was a little starry-eyed, but I bought into it, and I think a lot of people bought into it. And the truth is that he got elected to do it. He won something that no president had won since Ronald Reagan, at least no Republican were president. And that was to win the popular vote. Like, it was a big deal. He won the all the swing states, which again, big deal. And we were really optimistic that this guy was going to do the things that he was talking about. It's like the first time in my life I was really, really invested in this man. And he's really stabbed a lot of us in the back, in a really difficult way. He's went from being the hope and change of like a Barack Obama, to being just another politician. And it is just it almost brings you to tears in many ways, just how disappointing this man has been. For whatever reason, he had all the chess pieces in place. He was ready to make his moves, and he just knocked all the pieces over and said, "You know what? We're going to go to war." It's just like, oh man. And what do you do? It's very frustrating what we're seeing going on here. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about Mr. Trump's crazy tweet last night, kind of how he went after some of his biggest allies. And we're going to talk about, who he's aligning himself with. And again, why so many of us are so disappointed with what we're seeing in this man, and why we're so frustrated with the kind of metrics that he's using for gauging success, right? The kind of allies that he's bringing into his orbit, and the kind of values and policies that he's pushing when we clearly know what we voted for. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I know what I voted for when I voted for this guy. Like, I know what direction the country was going to be going in. I knew the kind of people he was going to surround himself with because he talked about it at length. Donald Trump is notorious for talking like way too much, and that was a good thing in many ways because we knew we were getting, we knew what we were voting for, right? We knew what we were advocating for. And the guy he's done a complete 180, and he's pulled the old political card, like, no, let me go deal with this. You guys will get what you want later. Like, hey, I'll wait till the next election cycle. You guys are going to get what you guys want. And this is very frustrating because, again, as a guy who wasn't supposed to be the typical politician, he's clearly turned into being the typical politician. So anyway, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about, what does Donald Trump need to do? Right. I feel that, I like solutions, right? I like to know, like, where I can go, what I can do. I like to solve problems, so we got to figure out, we can brainstorm in this cast today. But I will give you guys what I think Donald Trump needs to do in order to right this ship, right? To get his voter base back, to help bridge some of the divides, right? Repair some of the wounds that this guy has. I mean, he's been throwing some haymakers at his supporters, and this is definitely not a good way to get what it is that you want. But if you don't have to vote, if you don't have to run for president or run for office again, that's great for you. Not so good for your supporters, right? We're still here. Not so good for the people that got to pick up the pieces after you've knocked them all over, right? Not so good for them. So Trump is not being a very good advocate or a very good friend to the people that have to carry the torch after he's gone, right? The people that have to the people that have to come behind him and help make things possible for the voters that voted him into office. He doesn't seem to be a very good advocate of that. So anyway, that's what we're talking about today. Again, I want to hear your guys' solutions. Do you agree with Trump? Do you agree with him torching all the podcasters? Do you believe him torching all the people that advocated for him? Do you believe it was good for him to torch the people that, again, got independents to vote for him, that even got like Democrat minded people to reach over the aisle and vote for him? Do you guys think that this was a good thing? Do you believe that Trump is moving us in the right direction? Do you believe in the things that this guy is doing? Do you believe that it's okay that he's not abandoned, but in many ways abandoned his initial platform for foreign conflict, right? Do you believe that, hey, going over to Iran is going to be good for America, right? Put in the comments today. Let's chat it. Let's bat this thing around. We're going to get people coming in. I got a feeling this will be a very popular topic. Hopefully, we don't have the internet issues that we were having yesterday. So the way the channel works is, again, I'm the host, you guys are the co-hosts. You got to give us comments, you got to give us something we can interact with, and we'll interact with you the entire time. So I'm gonna start giving you guys a couple headlines, so a couple things that I think are kind of important. We're gonna talk about those, and then we're gonna dig into the meat of our discussion, which is talking about Donald Trump's crazy post last night, torching everyone that supported this guy, torching his base, torching anyone that pushes back against what it is that he wants, right? And I've said it many times. Donald Trump suffers from extreme narcissism, which in and of itself isn't a bad thing, but he also suffers from megalomania, which is the real problem. And megalomania is often not diagnosed very well. Not many people get to have the level of megalomania where they get to be president, right? This is to be the most powerful man in the world. This is very unique to Donald Trump. And truth is he's not handling it very well, So let's dig in a couple headlines, guys. And I appreciate everybody this morning. Again, hit the like button, add the discussion, subscribe, all those kind of things. We talk about one issue a day, generally, at about 6 o'clock in the morning. I try to give you guys an hour or two. We bat these issues back around. Okay, so let me dig into headlines. We're going to dig into channel stats. It's always the first thing that I do. So channel stats on the channel, right? Again, I don't have my channel without you guys. We got 428% growth. So I give you guys the updated analytics every morning. So we're at 428%. That means we're growing 428% more than last month, right? These analytics update every day on a 3 month, a 1 month reoccurring cycle. Okay, so we're doing 180,000 views a month. We're doing almost 3,000 watch hours a month. We're doing 330 subscribers a month typically, and we're doing about $131 in revenue every month. Okay, so that's kind of what the channel's doing. Again, that's all you guys, and again, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Okay, headlines. I think we have people starting to come into the channel. Can't talk this morning, man. I want to get a cup of coffee. Okay, top headlines are the Iran peace deal, right? The Iran-American peace deal is going to start in Islamabad, right? That starts tomorrow, and it's going to go for about 15 days. These guys are going to talk about, all kinds of issues, to end this conflict. I'm sure they're going to talk about the Strait of Hormuz. They're going to talk about, ceasefires. They're going to probably talk a lot about Israel. They're probably going to talk a lot about the neighboring nations that are over there in the Middle East. And again, there's going to be a new power dynamic. It sounds like who is it? Iran wants to basically charge a toll in an international waterway, which is not normal from what I understand. So I think they're going to try and advocate for that. Obviously, Trump is not going to want that, or he's going to want that money for himself because Trump's all about making deals, So we'll kind of see what happens there. But anyway, that is going to happen. The thing that I think is going to really sour these negotiations, if I'm being completely honest, is the key negotiators are J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner, right? And Jared Kushner is a bad actor. I honestly believe this guy is a bad actor. No one elected this man. This is essentially Donald Trump's son-in-law, right? And he has been at the heart of almost every issue in the Middle East for the last 20 years. Like, this guy is no good. Steve Witkoff, same thing. This guy is no good. These guys have been bad actors over in Iran from the start, right? Again, every time these guys have tried to find solutions to these problems, these guys have been there and they have either killed negotiators or they have tanked negotiations. Okay, this is not a good place to start from with negotiating. And again, I don't think these guys are going to help. JD Vance is supposed to be a non-interventional type of person. Not saying the guy's against war, but again, he's been very open and honest about ending foreign conflicts and focusing on things here at home. And again, this guy, I don't think he has it either. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll iron something out. It'll be fantastic for everyone. I really hope that that's the case. Because again, while I'm not an interventionalist, I'm not one of these guys that thinks that we go fight wars because we think it's going to be better for America. Like, no, you come here, you fight America, and then we go to war. But that's not how it's been for a long time, and it's very frustrating. Okay, headline number 2: Israel spread. Israel, Israel. Israel is speed running Lebanon right now. So Israel knows its days are numbered, right? The people that like Israel here in America are declining faster than I've ever seen. Their favorability rating in this country is dying. It's dying a very swift death. Benjamin Netanyahu knows that his days in the Middle East of just going over and attacking whatever country he wants because, of proxies, because they said death to Israel. Those days are over. He's got 5 to 10 years at best, and then those guys are on their own. And everyone will say, well, that's anti-Semitic to even say something like that because that implies that these guys are going to come and kill this country. And I'm here to tell you guys, like, that's between Israel and the rest of their enemies. Israel eventually has to lay in the bed that it's made, and those days are coming. So right now they're speed running Iran. God dang it, they're speed running Lebanon, and again, Iran is super pissed about this, and Pakistan is super pissed about this, but Trump says, "Nah, they're not part of the negotiations," so therefore, because Trump said it, therefore it is. And everyone's kind of scratching their head, like, "No, we kind of thought that these guys were everyone's supposed to lay low while we work on negotiating a ceasefire here." Israel's like, "Nah, fuck that, we're going." And so they're doing their own thing, which is great, but I think their days are coming to an end as far as a regional power in that particular part of the world. But we'll see. Okay, last headline: China met with Taiwan opposition leader for the first time in a decade. Okay, so it's no coincidence, or should be no coincidence to anyone, that President Xi is meeting with the leaders of Taiwan, right? And again, he's doing this because they essentially want to bring Taiwan and China back together. If you guys know the history of Taiwan, Taiwan has kind of been its own thing for a long time at this point. Xi has wanted to bring these guys back together. America has fought this. A lot of the world has actually fought this because, again, this is the main chip producer. They want this particular country that makes all the microchips to kind of be independent of this big Chinese conglomerate, right? Those days are over too. So these guys are going to become one unit, which is what they've talked about doing for a long time. But now that America is building its own chips, we got Taiwan Semiconductors over here. We got Intel starting to build chips again. We got Nvidia starting to build chips. We got AMD Semiconductors starting to build chips. Because of the Joe Biden infrastructure bill, there was a lot of money poured into this chip making thing. And believe it or not, there is fruit, bearing there. So in Arizona, I believe the largest fab plant we've ever created in the history of our country is finally starting to become operational. So actually starting to produce product, which is fantastic. This is one of the things that America needs to do. They've got to bring back manufacturing in this country. And again, for too many years, we've thought that this blue collar, dirt work, factory work, this is for troglodytes and cavemen and people like that. And the truth is like, no, this is literally the lifeblood of your country. So after COVID happened, they really started to bring this stuff back in here, and again, we're starting to see these fab plants now, which is fantastic. So, should Taiwan and China get together, it's not going to affect us as much, which is a step in the right direction. So, last thing I want to talk about: Ashley Furniture, right? One of the I believe the largest furniture manufacturer in America, if I remember correctly, is having an education day, career day, right? Which is really cool because this is my business furniture, right? I have a furniture manufacturing business here in St. Louis, Missouri. So I like seeing this large manufacturing company is partnering with high schools and trying to get kids to come work for them really young. They're trying to show them, how we use our CNC routers, right? How we do our finish shops. They're trying to how we design furniture, right? The logistics of moving things. They're trying to teach these kids all kinds of fun things and get them to start careers at Ashley Furniture right out of high school. I think that's great. I would like to do something myself. And that's something I really need to think about. Like, so as I get older in life, I'm realizing that my job is to teach other people how to do what it is that I do. So I thought it was a great article. That's on Furniture Today. If you guys want to go read that, I had no idea this was even happening, but it's freaking awesome. Good for this company. Great American name, great American business, and they do manufacture abroad, but for the most part, they are doing stuff here in America. They're doing it the right way, and good on them. So, okay, let's say hi to everyone. Let's dig into the bulk of our discussion. I think if you guys have followed me for a long time, you know pretty much where I'm going to stand on this kind of an issue. I am a wild, rabid Donald Trump supporter, and I'm one of these guys that feels like this man has honestly backstabbed me. He's backstabbed a lot of the people that ran for him. He's backstabbed a lot of people that got him elected. And truth is, guys, if he cannot keep the independents and he cannot keep the Democrats that jumped ship right after seeing the crazy shit that happened during COVID, if he does not understand that he needs to keep this alliance going in order for the other people that are going to come up behind him to win elections, it's over. It's over for him. It's over for the MAGA movement. It's over for the Republicans, right, in the House and the Senate, and it's going to get real ugly real fast. So we'll see what happens. So, okay, who's in here this morning? I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like button, add a discussion, and let's bat this thing around. So this is Mana Monroe 7350. Trump Trump does what's best for him, period. The people who supported him know this is why, just refuse to admit that he is anything but a genius, because doing so would, in their heads, validate Democrats. Well, again, maybe, again, I voted for Donald Trump for a very specific reason. Like I said, I'm rabidly American first. I have an American business, right? I got 9 guys that rely on American paychecks. And so it's very important that we bring manufacturing back to America. It's very important to me that we advocate for making stuff here in America. And it's very important to me that we push the third world out of this country, because that makes Americans' wages go up. It makes American benefits go up. It makes large businesses that would rather manufacture in America because the regulations here are shit, right? It makes those companies actually have to operate in the world that they've created, right? And you're saying, well, how do big businesses create regulations? The truth is that the margin that they make, the excess margin that they make by producing shit in the third world and selling it back to you guys, the Americans, they use that money to lobby Congress, right? They do things like corporate carve outs, increased OSHA regulations, increased EPA regulations, reduced tax policy. They affect everything. And it's because of their access to the third world that they're able to do this, which makes it all that much harder for small businesses like my own to paint furniture in America, to build furniture in America, to transport furniture in America. And when you work with a solvent-based product like I do, there's a lot of regulations around it. You guys would be shocked at just what it takes to get an American manufacturing business going, right? So, all right, let's see. We got one like in here, guys. Hit the like button. Let's kick this thing around. I think it's gonna be a real popular topic this morning. All right, let's see. Monroe 7350 says, this is worse than them than anything that Trump does. This is worse to them than anything that Trump does. Again, Monroe, I don't know, man. It's an amalgamation of many things that Trump has done. Again, everyone wants to focus on the war right now. Like I said, Trump's violated his oath to the people that voted for him. He's violated this on many occasions. And again, most of us we're just over it. So the this whole Iran conflict is not the Iran conflict is just the straw that has broke the camel's back for many of us. That's really what it boils down to. All right, Ishmael 21. See, there is no ceasefire. The fighting has not stopped. There's no ceasefire. Got it. There's no ceasefire. The fighting does not stop. Iran is not negotiating in good faith, but either is the United States. Yeah, and again, the problem with negotiating with the United States and ultimately Trump is that Trump changes his mind again, and we know this. Yeah, anyone that's you watch Donald Trump for years, again, knows that he doesn't mean half of what he says. He speaks in bombastic and bloviating ways. He's a shit talker, as they say. And again, that's okay in business, right? That's okay when you're dealing one on one with someone trying to buy a company, right? You're trying to negotiate pricing on things. It's a whole different thing when you're firing missiles at people. So talking shit is not necessarily the best tactic, in my opinion. Now, again, what Donald Trump said to Iran the other day, he basically said that, Iran, you want to fuck around and find out? Well, the U.S. military is looking for another conquest. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, you can't do that. You can't talk that way. But that's what he's doing, and it's I don't think Donald Trump's gonna be very successful, because the only thing that Donald Trump knows is strength and force, right? And those things are fantastic tactics when you have a chip to play. The problem is that Trump has not realized that Iran is not like Venezuela. Iran is not like Iraq. Like, Iran is a country, a very large country with very difficult terrain, and these guys have been waiting, I think, 25 years for this conflict to happen. So he's going to a country that he does not know. He's on foreign soil, fighting people that were ready for him. Okay, and again, he didn't understand what was going to happen in the Strait of Hormuz. He had advisors telling him, he didn't believe it. And so now that this thing has happened, he's claiming like, oh my God, this is bullshit. They can't do this. It's like, boy, the rules of war sure are important to you now. Like, you certainly, care about maritime law, and you care about all the rules. Well, how about attacking a country, that didn't attack America? How about going against, your ethos of ending foreign conflicts, right? Of not starting new wars. Again, he didn't do any of that. And again, he's backtracking, and he's trying to claim that, oh God, this is not my fault. This is someone else's fault. Oh, it's Europe's fault because Europe didn't come in and help me. Like, oh my God, it's China's fault because China didn't come in and help me. Like, dude, like, we all know as men, like, you make your bed, dude. You deal with your own problems. And this guy has created a complete shitstorm, and he doesn't know how to get out of it. And he's not willing to listen to reason. He will not back down. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that as a bad thing, but Donald Trump is not advocating for America. Donald Trump is advocating for his name on Mount Rushmore. I honestly believe this. He is literally trying to create a conflict that he can then create a solution to. And this is bad news for all of us, because again, Housing is unaffordable. The average first-time home buyer is 40 years old, right? Women are having kids in their mid-30s, right? When they're basically at the end of their cycle to be able to have children, right? You got mortgage insurance is going up, property taxes are going up, healthcare is unaffordable, right? There's just a myriad of problems that we have here. Donald Trump said he was going to get energy down. He said he was going to build more houses, and again, not that Donald Trump should just wave his wand and make all these things happen, but he's not advocating for them. He's not using the bully pulpit of the presidency to push for the stuff like he did on the campaign trail, right? He's not dealing with the mass deportation, which was probably the top three reasons he got elected. He advocated for getting the money, right? So, oh, we got to get the money to make sure we can do these mass deportations. Okay. The money got passed in the one big, beautiful bill, and he's done fuck all with it. Okay. So, again, Donald Trump has pissed off his base in a crazy way. And he's acting like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do this. Because what Donald Trump does, just like the ceasefire, right? He's going to change the rules of the road. He's going to act like he hasn't been talking for 10 years. He's going to act like a ceasefire wasn't negotiated by Pakistan at the request of America. And he's going to act like, oh God, Israel wasn't involved in it. Donald Trump changes his mind like he changes his underwear. Okay, and this is bad for America. This is bad for negotiating ceasefires. This is bad for policy. This is bad for building up allies. Right? This is terrible. And so this guy's really got to change how he does things. And we'll talk about that at the very end of our talk when we abdicate or when we talk about how Donald Trump can fix the situation. Okay. All right, Ishmael, great comment. All right, Suburban Conan, looks like life is kicking your arse, man. Eating something healthy, bro. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just eat the same thing every day. My wife makes fun of me. I eat this thing. She calls it wagey pie. It's like shepherd's pie, hamburger pie, meat pie. Sometimes people call it. You take a pound of ground beef, take a little bit of tomato soup, you put some green beans in it, you put mashed potatoes on top of all, you put some cheese on top of all of it, and then I just douse it with ketchup. I've eaten that my entire life. I'm not one of these. I don't have a broad palate, so. All right, let's see. But Wakanda will have to step in at some point. Yeah, I know Wakanda fixes everything. Um, great comment. All right, the Sun Trekker Thompson, 8741. How much are you paying? How much are they paying you to run it? I showed you the analytics at the very beginning. $131 a month. A lot of money, especially for the 2 hours a day I put into this thing. Oh my God, I'm getting paid big bucks, man. Again, I tell you guys, if any of you guys don't understand how YouTube works, YouTube hates this kind of content, right? They hate anything that uses profanity, that talks about politics, that talks about any kind of a controversial issue. Especially you talk about Israel, right? Oh my God, they won't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. They won't even show this kind of stuff to advertisers. So the only way I make any money on YouTube is from super chats, right? It's from people that like this content, it's from people that support content creators and stuff like that. And I don't do this for money. I said I got a furniture factory, right? That's where I make my money. So appreciate your comment. All right, let's see. BIT. Do you condemn Israel? 100%. Again, I think that Israel's is not our friend. I've said this for a long time. Israel does not work in the best interest of America. And again, if you guys want to look at if you guys listen to Anthony Blinken or you listen to John Kerry, and again, you may not like any of these people, but again, they're on record as saying this stuff in interviews, and they basically said that Netanyahu came to President George W. Bush, came to Joe Biden, and came to Barack Obama trying to get them to start this conflict in Iran. And again, they turned him down every time. Donald Trump's the only guy that has jumped on board with this. And again, my guess is because his daughter converted to Judaism. His son-in-law is a major friend of Benjamin Netanyahu. And again, Donald Trump has surrounded himself with very pro-Israeli people. And again, this is where he's getting his information now. He's in an echo chamber and an information bubble, and this is wild because no business owner would do this, right? We don't want to surround ourselves with yes men. We actually want people to push back on us. We want to hear no. We're looking for people that are going to tell us things that maybe we're not hearing or that we're not looking at. Donald Trump is not doing that. He has forsaken all the people that he needed to get himself elected. And now that he's elected, he's acting like all those people don't matter. He's acting like all of us are full of shit and that he is so important to us that if he changes his mind, he wants to go in another direction, that we're just going to follow like we're a bunch of fucking sheep. And the truth is that we're not. Like we're not sheep. We voted for this man because we believe in this country. We voted for Donald Trump because he was advocating for the things that we really thought would help. And now he's completely forsaken those things, and he's going down the road that we've been going down since 9/11, which is foreign conflict. And anyway, it's no bueno. But yeah, I condemn Israel like across the board. I'm again, I got no problems with the state of Israel. If the state of Israel wants to go and bomb all of its countries over in the Middle East, I don't care. They can pick fights with whoever they want. They just can't use us. We're not going to be there to help them. We're not going to backstop them. And that's been the problem. That's why Israel has been punching above its weight for so long, is because America's been behind them, shaking their finger at everyone, and Israel's been taking full advantage of that. And again, I'm not okay with that. At this point, America needs to back off, right, and let Israel make its own allies, right? If Israel and Saudi Arabia want to get along because of this thing called the Abraham Accords, I think that's great. Let everyone make money. They can all, trade with each other. They can all help each other. This is what allies and partners do. But the truth is that Israel is an ally and a friend to nobody in the Middle East. Nobody wants that country there, but this is where they chose to be, and they're going to make their go of it, and they should. I've got no problems with that. But again, that door swings both ways. And again, if it swings in the way where a bunch of these Middle East countries want to go fucking crush Israel, well, then it turns into Hitlerism. It turns into World War II over and over again. But if Israel goes over there and starts destabilizing the entire Middle East, right, starts fucking with everyone, suddenly, oh, well, they're just trying to liberate themselves. They're just defending themselves, like, oh, Israel just wants to, be left alone. Like, none of this is true. And this is one of the big problems we have in America. Young people are awake to this because of the internet, right? Because of all the chatter that we have in places like X and YouTube. People are very aware of who Israel is and what Israel wants. And it has nothing to do with America. Israel wants its own thing. And I think that that's great. And then you got a lot of people here that they try and bring the Jews and Israel together, right? Like, oh my God, you can't talk about Israel without talking about Jews. Like, no, these are completely different things. In fact, there is overwhelming anti-Israel sentiment among Jews here in America, right? Again, I got a lot of clients that are Jewish people. Again, these people, I've never seen them act this way. I've never seen them advocate for this country in this way, shape, or form. And again, I'm friends with a lot of these people. Jewish people in America do not act this way, right? And so again, when you want to link Jews and Israel together, it's a tactic that people use here in America, and the state of Israel uses on Americans to shame them for World War II, right? We're always told that, oh my God, you can't do this. This is going to be like World War II. It's like, hey, you know what, motherfucker? We're the ones that liberated you guys. Shut your fucking mouth, right? And Trump, instead of saying, hey, you know what, you guys need to back off. You can't do this. Israel's like, fuck that, man. And again, go read the New York Times report on exactly who was in the Situation Room advocating for this war in Iran when they were planning this thing. And what you guys are going to find out is Benjamin Netanyahu was right there with Donald Trump. The guy that's the head of Mossad, which is the Israel intelligence agency, right there talking about it. Okay, again, these guys are not acting in America's interest. And again, Donald Trump should have said, you know what, you motherfuckers don't even exist without us. Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna do what you're told. But he didn't do that. Donald Trump's a cuck, and I don't know why. We are the most powerful nation that has ever existed in the history of humanity, and we can't push back against this little tiny country with 9.6 million people in an area none of us are ever gonna go. So I don't understand it. Again, Donald Trump's supposed to be a strong leader. He's got Benjamin Netanyahu's dick in his mouth, and he's had it in there since I don't know when. But again, we can't have that. We can't have a leader like this. And again, Donald Trump was not supposed to be this guy. But anyway, that's a long-winded answer. Yes, I condemn Israel in many ways, shapes, or and I'm not one of these guys that thinks that Israel is the source of all of our problems. It's not. Israel is the source of our foreign conflict problems. Israel is part of the military-industrial complex problem that we have today. And yes, you can say APAC, supports 94% of all the people in our politics, and again, that's a problem. But again, the president can easily just say, we're not going to go over there. We're not going to go deal with that shit. You guys go deal with it yourself. But he won't do it. So anyway, I appreciate your comment. That's a long-winded answer. Guys, I'm going to do a couple more comments, and then we're going to jump into the bulk of our story, which is this crash out that Donald Trump had on the people that helped him get elected. Probably the people that got him elected, if we're being completely honest, because truth is, Donald Trump didn't know anything about the podcasting world. He didn't know anything about social media. It was his son, Barron, that convinced him to go on things like Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, right? To do these conversations, Aiden Ross, right? Again, Donald Trump would not have done any of this. So Donald Trump probably would have won the presidency had it not been for the people that he's talking shit on right now. So anyway, if you guys are in the stream, hit the like button, add discussion. We're gonna do a couple of comments and we're digging the bulk of our chat. Looks like we got Sun in here. Susan's one of our moderators. You guys are gonna have to put in high quality comments. You're gonna have to interact with me, the host, or interact with people in the chat. Otherwise, we're probably going to delete your comment. That's one of the things that we do here. We don't allow just, I don't like this, I don't like that. We don't allow that kind of stuff. You got to put a reason. You got to let them know why you like something or why you dislike something. Okay, so that's what we do. Okay, two more comments and we're getting into it. Son, good to see you this morning. All right, who's this? Maggot 5993. I've never seen you before. All right, Trump comes from Drump. It's German. All right, well, I appreciate that. I didn't know that. Core 1999, man, what a great freaking album. And Peachy was such a good album. All right, why is it when somebody says something negative about Trump, they have TDS? Yeah, and again, I don't. That's coming to an end. That's just a tactic that they're going to use. Everyone, again, if you guys have followed this stream for any length of time, you guys know that what I talk about a lot is what's happened to America. I talk about why we need to kick out the third world in order to help Americans make more money, allow real innovation to enter into this country. I advocate for ending the Fed, right? Because what the Fed has done is the Fed has essentially allowed large businesses, large corporations, large groups of asset holders, right? The people that own the real estate, that own the precious metals, that own the stocks, all these kind of things. It has allowed these guys to not fail. So when you don't allow the old growth to die off, so that new shoots can come up and proliferate, you end up with a stagnant economy, which is what I think we've had for about the last 20 years. If you guys look at the M2 money supply, which is the amount of money we've printed as a government or as a country, it's literally a hockey stick curve starting in about 2003, right? And this is when we started sending everyone to college, right? As we're shoveling the jobs to the third world. Okay, this is a lot of what I talk about on this channel, but I'm not going to dig into today. But so I like your comment, dude. TDS is a thing, but it used to be on the left, right? I'm a three time Trump supporter, complete Republican type guy, but I sound like I have TDS. Like I admit it, I literally sound like I have Trump derangement system syndrome because I've never been lied to so much in my life. I've never wanted someone to get elected so bad and then had them completely turn on me. Like this is wild. And I mean, say what you will about Democrats, at least they do what they say they're going to do. They always tell you, we're going to bring in healthcare. We're going to, take from the rich and give to the poor. Like they're very consistent. Like we're going to, monitor hate speech. Which is essentially, we're going to police what you can say. These kind of things. Like they do what they say they're going to do. Trump ran on a similar platform, sounded pretty good, except on the Republican side, and now he's just going to war, which is super frustrating. All right, last comment, guys. You're gonna have to do super chats and super likes to get your comment read right away. We're not gonna be able to keep up, but I will do the best I can. All right, let's see. Our homeboy Goose. Never seen you before, dude. Again, if you guys are in the stream, this is your first time, give it 5 watches. I do a talk pretty much every day at 6 o'clock in the morning. I give you guys an hour or two, and then I go off to work. So I appreciate being here. All right. See, at mystical, no, it doesn't. The entire New Testament is about how Jesus and his followers are the chosen ones. The Jews broke their covenant by refusing and rejecting Christ. Yeah, we get a lot of people that like to talk about religion here. I'm not a religious guy. I love that you guys are having these conversations. I learn more from you than I do from anything. I do find it interesting that Jesus was a Jew and he started his own religion in a sense. Like it seems like if his religion was so good, the one that he was born into, you like wouldn't he have just kept doing that? Like no, he created a new religion. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it. Okay, let's dig into the bulk of our discussion. I appreciate everybody this morning. Hit the like button, add the discussion, and again, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and we'll kind of we'll bat it back around. Okay, so Trump goes off on the podcasters, right? Yeah, he went after was it Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and Candace Owens, right? And again, I'll admit I don't follow Candace Owens very much. I've never really listened to her stuff. It just doesn't do much for me. But apparently, she's been pretty pro-Trump as well, in her leanings. But I will say up front, I don't know a ton about her. Okay, so Trump attacks as follows, right? He attacks the people that got him elected. Now, who are these people? Do you guys? I think we all kind of know who these people are. They're very prominent personalities, all over the internet. Megyn Kelly is a big personality on Sirius and has a massive following on YouTube. Same thing with Tucker Carlson. Same thing with Alex Jones, and same thing with Candace Owens. These people are at the top of their sphere, right? So when Donald Trump crashes out and he says like, "Oh, these people they all got fired from television. These are low rent politicians. They're not intelligent. They don't know what they're talking about." These what are some of the other things he said? I wrote a few of these things down. I could go through them line item by line item, but it's kind of ridiculous. Let's see what else he said here. Hold on one second, guys. He says, they were all thrown off television. Let's see. They got third-rate podcasts. Okay, again, if you guys look at the numbers when it comes to podcast and these guys' influence versus like cable news, they're like 10x. Like Joe Rogan, literally every day gets 10 times the viewers of the entire CNN organization. Okay, so these are the new media. This is the new place where people go to get information. And Donald Trump is acting like an old boomer. And again, I say that not as a to denigrate boomers. I talk about this as people 60, 65 years and up. Right? Donald Trump is acting like he's got old man syndrome right now. He's got old boomer syndrome right now. And this is what this guy's doing. And we'll dig into, he says Donald Trump is, oh, these guys are not MAGA. And again, this is the thing. Donald Trump thinks that he can redefine what MAGA is, and whatever he says it is, therefore, is what the movement is. And the truth is that's not true. It's the same thing with this negotiation with Iran right now. Donald Trump saying, "Oh God, Israel's not part of the negotiation," and Pakistan's back there like, "Oh, we wrote this thing up. Like, what do you? Yes, this is exactly what was part of the negotiation. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. I said it's not. Therefore, it's not." And this is what Trump does, and he's been doing this like it's getting worse, right? Which makes me think that, and if I'm being completely honest, like I think there's something mentally happening to our president. Maybe not to the extent that Joe Biden was exhibiting, but he might be in a state of paranoia. Like Donald Trump might be falling into a state where he's hyper paranoid. So he's leaning in to the people that tell him what makes him feel good or tell him what he thinks in the moment. He's leaning into these people. And an example of that would be these people like Mark Levin. Like these people actually said, "I will never vote for Trump." And again, have pushed back against this guy as being an idiot. People like Ben Shapiro, same thing. Like they'll never vote for this guy. And again, I pulled up because I don't follow a lot of these people, so I'm just checking sources, guys. But if you guys want to look at what these guys said, I mean, these are both these guys strongly opposed Donald Trump. I will never vote for Donald Trump, and here's why. Ben Shapiro listed all this stuff. Mark Levin, same thing. I will never vote for Donald Trump. Count me as a never Trumper. And again, now these are Donald Trump's closest allies because again, he's fallen into a state of paranoia. And this is an interesting thing to see. If you guys ever been around old people, like this is something that really does happen as they get older in life. They start to surround themselves with people that will tell them what they want to hear because they feel safe, because they're losing their faculties, and it's the kind of their last their last grasp at reality, right? It's their last grasp at the thing that they understand. And I think Donald Trump might be experiencing a little bit of this, but when you couple that with narcissism and megalomania, man, it's a wicked combination, guys. So again, I don't know much about psychology. I'm not I never graduated high school, but I have seen some of this as I'm getting older in life with older people in my life, So I think he's got a little bit of that going on. And unfortunately, the people that he's surrounded himself with, these are all neocon, war hawk, Israel first type people. And it's a major problem, guys. And again, case in point, Mike Huckabee. Like he's literally our advocate in Israel, and the guy talks like he's literally Israel first. Like everything he's talking about and advocating for is for the state of Israel, not for America. This is wild. The fact that Trump hasn't pulled this guy out of there and said, "Dude, don't you ever talk that way in public again," and put somebody else there is just wild to me. It's absolutely insane, but it is what it is. So anyway, keep going to what we're talking about. So Trump is essentially, essentially losing his mind. He's crashing out, and he's starting to surround himself with people who are using him, in my opinion. Again, guys, give me just a second. I'll get to comments. I see the comments coming in here. So he says that. Hold on, so let me collect my notes here. It says, they've been fighting me for years, and to make sure that I'm on my right set of notes here. Okay, yeah. So Trump's crashing out, right? He's arguing with people now. He's going after Candace Owen, he's going after Alex Jones, he's going after, Megyn Kelly, he's going after all these people that again, these people have been advocating for him for years, and he's casting them all aside, okay? And this is the problem with narcissists. This is the problem with people that think that they got it all figured out, and they're bigger than they're bigger than their britches, as they say. So someone like a Tucker Carlson, he is probably the most well-respected journalist in America, right? And people can argue with me on this thing, but if you guys just look at the sheer body of work, Tucker Carlson is one of the last journalists that will actually go talk to people that he is not supposed to talk to. And this is literally the definition of what journalism is, right? You're supposed to get the story from the people, right? You're supposed to go out there and find the uncomfortable news. Tucker Carlson is one of the last journalists that actually believes that a journalist's job isn't to get access to the powerful, it's to expose the powerful, right? And he's one of the last people that's able to do this. If you guys look at all the popular personalities especially on cable news, these guys don't do journalism anymore. It's all talk show. It's all opinion. It's all commenting on the news, like what I'm doing right here. They're just commenting on the news. And so journalism, in effect, in many ways, is dead. Tucker is one of the last guys that really is out there speaking about things. And again, Trump's just forsaken him. Again, probably got Donald Trump elected, and he's acting like he never did anything for him, which is fucking insane, if I'm being completely honest. Same thing with Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly's advocated for this guy for a long time, and again, she's a little bit of a feminist, and she's pushed back on some of Donald Trump's man talk, the locker talk, as she calls it. But again, she's been advocating for the guy forever. Alex Jones has probably been Trump's number one supporter. Probably was another one of these guys that got Donald Trump elected. If we're being completely honest, this guy has been a massive advocate for Donald Trump. And again, Donald Trump's casting him aside like he means nothing. Okay. And this is not the sign of a friend, right? This is not the sign of an ally. I talk about allies a lot when we're talking about the third world. And the truth is, we don't have many allies in the third world. We essentially just protect them. We protect the waterways. We make sure that they buy oil in dollars. That's all we really care about. We don't actually get anything from a lot of the countries that we call our friends. And again, these were actual real friends to Donald Trump, and he forsook all of them. Which is really frustrating. And again, Candace Owens, again, apparently she's been a Trump supporter her entire life. I'm not a follower of hers. I said at the beginning, but she's a very traditional type person, and again, threw her under the bus as well. And he's gonna continue to throw people under the bus. Everyone that again, Theo Vaughn's probably next. Joe Rogan's probably next. Who is it that Aiden Ross guy? He's probably on the chopping block. Benny Johnson's probably on the chopping block. And again, anyone that pushes back against Trump in any meaningful way that has a voice, he's gonna go after him. And again, this is old man. This is at the end. I'm at the end of my life. This is old man ranting, kind of dementia, paranoia type antics, and it's just really sad what I'm seeing here. And again, it'd be nice if someone in his administration would really push back at him. Again, I've advocated for JD Vance, just 25th Amendment, the guy, like, just get it over with, get him out of there. If you guys really want to save the Republican Party in this next election cycle, it's the only thing that can be done. And again, I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. I'm a pretty Republican, conservative type individual, but Trump's got to go. He is not good for this country. He's tearing it apart. He's tearing his own side of the party apart, and it's going to end up bad. It's going to end up really bad for the country, and it's too bad. It's too bad. But that's exactly what I see going on. So anyway, so he's throwing all these guys under the bus, and he's talking about how they're low rent. They'd never done anything before. They wouldn't be anywhere without him. When actually it's the opposite that's true. So anyway, Trump is aligning with never Trumpers, right? He's aligning with people that again are super pro-Israel, which again all of the never Trumpers are, by the way. And he's pushing back against anyone that is anti-war or questions the state of Israel. Again, all these people have these things in common. And again, this is why Trump is not siding with them anymore. He's not speaking favorably to them anymore because again, they don't support the war, but more importantly, they don't support Israel, right? So at the end of the day, this all goes back to the state of Israel. And again, Donald Trump could fix this in a heartbeat. He could turn it off like a light switch, but he won't do it. And then of course, if he turns off the state of Israel, says, you know what, fuck you guys, we're done. You guys are on your own. Iran, Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, all these places, Iraq, Afghanistan, all these places that have been destabilized. You know what? America's out. Israel can stand on its own. They'd be in deep shit. But again, Donald Trump will still have the problem of coming back and working on what were the core tenets of his campaign. And again, while he's focusing all his energy, all the oxygen is over there in the Middle East. Everyone's back here in America going like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck are you doing? Like, I can't afford a home. My kid thinks he's a boy. He doesn't understand that, he's not a girl. My daughter came over, she's got fucking blue hair and a bull ring in her nose. She wants to be a fucking professional basket weaver. He's like, we got real problems here. Like, I can't afford cars. Cars are $50,000. Like, I got my energy bill. It's doubled in the last year. Inflation is getting ready to be 4%. Like, we got real problems here, dude. It's like you keep telling us we gotta, go to school. We gotta go get college degrees. It's so important that we go to school. We're getting all these loans. We're doing the work. And then we're coming out of college. We can't fucking buy anything. We're wasting our lives paying back debt. And who's the number one seller of debt? Okay, again, I can't say it, but there's a common theme here, guys. And again, Donald Trump does not want to hear it. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, wagey. It'll get better. Don't worry about it, voter. We'll help you out next election cycle. Oh my God, just vote Republican again. And then again, we're going to get back to work for you guys. Just let us finish this thing over the Middle East. This one last thing in the Middle East. He thinks we're all dumb. He thinks that because we voted for him 3 times, that we're going to continue to vote for him. And I see this all over the internet. Oh my God, you can't vote for Democrats. If we vote for Democrats, it's going to get worse. What do you mean it's going to get worse? You haven't fucking fixed anything, dude. Oh, Donald Trump's done everything he said he was going to do. Okay, well, what? Like what? What do you got? Would he close the border? All right, cool, man. What do you got? Tax cuts? He didn't give you any fucking tax cuts. What good does a tax cut do if the cost of life has gone up faster than the tax cuts? The cost of life goes up faster than your wages. Like, what do you mean it's gotten worse? At least when you vote for a Democrat, they fucking give shit to the people that live here in America. Okay. Donald Trump's giving away all of our blood and treasure to the third world. He's cozying up, to fucking oil companies. He's going snatching leaders out of country, right? He's focused on everything but the things that matter to Americans. Oh, but America's got to be safe. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. America's got to be safe. I've been hearing America's got to be safe for 25 years. Okay. When I signed up to go in the army, I was one of the guys that was going to go fight. Let me go kill some terrorists. I want to make sure America's safe. Okay. Again, I've never felt unsafe in this country. Oh, Israel fights a terrorist, so we don't have to. Bullshit. It's all a fucking scam, guys. And again, the reason Donald Trump is over there fighting for this stuff, the reason he's fighting with the people that got him elected is because he knows his policies here, he can't get them done. He overpromised and he's under delivering in spectacular fashion. And he doesn't want to own up to it. And the best thing he could do is own up to it. Hey, restart. Hey, I things went bad between you and me, right? Let's start over. Let's start this relationship on a new platform. Again, we've all done this with spouses, we've all done this with girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. People in our lives, like, hey, dude, I fucked up. Let me take you out for a beer. Let's talk. Let's see if we can fix this situation. He doesn't want to do that. Now he's actually doubling down. He's attacking the people that he's betrayed. The people that, again, he's stabbed in the back. He's not trying to do it. He's basically saying, you know what, you guys aren't going in my direction. You're not real MAGA. You didn't understand what I was talking about. I told you what I wanted. You changed. I didn't change. Like, no, dude, you've changed. And this is the problem. And again, YouTube is a Republican, male dominated, very pro Trump platform. So when I speak this way, a lot of people, this doesn't resonate with you guys. But again, this is what I do on the stream. I talk about real life as a real business owner who wasn't corrupted by academia, right? I never finished high school. I got a real factory with 9 guys that work for me, not some fucking guy in my garage making furniture telling you guys how life is. I actually deal with it all the time. So I think people like that. That's what this platform is. Okay, let's say hi to everyone. Let's go through comments real quick, and then we're going to get into what does Trump need to do to fix this problem. Okay, let's give some real concrete steps. Right, put in the chat if you guys have anything in there. Let's talk about exactly what he needs to do to right this ship. Because again, it's as far as the ship's got many holes in it. It's leaking and it's going down. And again, we're just inching closer to November. And guess what? The minute this guy gets the minute the November elections happen, Trump is going to be impeached. They're going to boot his ass out of office. He's done. And I'm not saying Trump's going to be a lame duck. No, they're going to kick him out of. They're going to kick him out of office. Like, it's going to happen. So everything that we voted for, everything that we wanted to happen, is going to be done. And then guess what? They're going to lose the presidency because again, as me as a 3-time Donald Trump supporter, if the Republicans don't right this fucking ship right now, right? Because they're a part of this problem. You guys notice the Republicans are silent on all this shit. They just got Trump's dick in their mouth. They got nothing to say about any of this, right? These people got constituencies, right? They got people that voted them into office, okay? They're all going to get voted out. America's not going to have this. Like this day of, oh, it's Democrats, it's Republicans. Oh, God, you got to vote for this people because if you don't, it's going to get bad because, no, we're done with that. We're going to vote all you fucking people out of office. I will vote blue no matter who. Okay, I will make this country, we'll have 75% taxes. You will not recognize this country because of all the illegals that are going to pour in here. You guys will have free healthcare. You'll have free dental. You'll have free education. You'll have free you'll have free everything at the expense of business owners like me until fucking Caesar shows up. A strong man, an authoritarian, a guy who will right the ship in the worst possible way. I am waiting for that guy. That's how bad it will have to get if the Republicans do not unfuck the situation that they have created, right? If Donald Trump does not start being responsive to the people that elected him, right? If this does not happen, this is what we're going to do. I'm one of these guys. I will do it. And again, I make money no matter what. I don't care who's in office, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter to me. I still make furniture. I still design furniture. I still sell to liberal women, to Republican women. I'm still going to be buying things. As the rich get richer, my client base continues to grow because I sell to the wealthiest people in America, right? My business will be fine. I will continue to hire people. I will continue to pay my people. We will be fine. Okay. How are you going to be? Okay, is this really the kind of country you want to be? Are you just going to be, trust the plan? Trump's got to figure it out. Do you really think it's because I don't? So anyway, Let's go, guys. And again, I was scroll to the end. I'm not gonna be able to keep up with comments. It's literally impossible. You guys have to do super chat, super comments if you want your comment read right away, but I will do the best that I can. So, all right, here we go. Sun Tzu, you got the first comment, dude. I'm tired of Team Satan boomers pretending to know shit. Fuck you. I don't go through the religious side, but son, I like your comment. There seems a lot of people talking about religion. Trump being controlled. There's like demons around him and all this kind of shit. Alex Jones talked about this, but again, I don't listen to Alex Jones very mumuch. All right, Christy 823. Both sides suck under Biden. The gas prices were the same when he was shutting pipelines down. Yeah, and again, Christy, again, Donald Trump ran on getting energy prices down, and to his credit, he was doing the right things. He was moving things in the right direction by, again, opening up everything to drilling, right? Reducing permitting, reducing red tape, reducing inspections, all these kind of things that slow everything down in this country. He was reducing those things at a federal level, right? But at some point, all that shit trickles down to the states, right? And so if the states don't help him out, they're not going to be able to do what it is that they want to do. Donald Trump started one of the first gas refineries have had in a long time, which again, kudos to him. But he's not doing anything on the energy front for the American people, right? You guys notice Donald Trump's signed an executive order stating that AI companies and tech companies could build their own power plants. It's like, you know what, motherfucker? It sure would be nice if you signed that order for us. Like it, I got a power station literally right here on the Mississippi River, right? The coal runs up and down the river all the time. These are coal-fired power plants. Let's build some coal plants. Let's build some LNG plants. Let's build some nuclear plants. Let's build it all. Let's do wind farms. Let's do solar. Let's do it all. The problem is that you guys fall for this idea. Well, if the Democrats are in power, well, we gotta have solar powers and wind farms. Oh yeah, and the federal government's gonna pay for it, right? Or if you're on the Republican side, well, it's nothing but dirty energy. Drill, baby, drill. And again, this is not how it's supposed to work, guys. Both these parties need to be advocating what's good for America, which is getting energy prices down for America, right? Oh, I know we got to do it the clean way. No, we got to do it the dirty way. No, how about motherfuckers? We do it all. Every bit of it. This country has so many resources and is so vast. Like, get out of America, guys. Go see what these other countries are like, okay? They don't have near the square mileage that we have. We have so much acreage in this country, it's not even funny. And we have so many resources. But again, they pit you guys against each other constantly. It's never ending, right? Biden's, got you got to buy EVs. Here's some money to go buy EVs. Donald Trump's like, no, you can buy whatever you want. Again, what it should be is that we promote everything in this country. Again, housing, right? Oh my God, the fucking the rich, wealthy people, they don't want to live by other people. Oh, the NIMBYs, right? They don't want not in my backyard. Okay. How about everyone just get on the same page and say, you know what? We need to do what we did after World War II when all the troops are coming home, and we're gonna have a massive mobilization of the construction industry, and we're gonna build 4 million houses in 4 years. You can do it. It can absolutely be that. And you know what? If the federal government's got to pay for it, great. The federal government's going to pay for it because it's going to help Americans. But then you always get the people on one side trying to sabotage. Oh, well, they're just going to build in the price on the house. Like, so who gives a shit? I don't care. Just build some fucking houses. Because at the end of the day, guys, what happens, no matter what those houses cost, once you get the supply up, guess what happens to the price of those homes? They crash. It's economics 101, and we act like, oh, this side's sabotaging it, that side's sabotaging it, right? You want to get the cost of healthcare down. You got one side saying, oh my God, give everyone healthcare. You got the other one saying, oh God, you can't give everyone healthcare. We'll end up like Canada. We'll end up like Europe. We'll end up like Israel. Well, guess what? All those places have free healthcare. Like, okay, they seem to be doing okay. We seem to like them. Maybe we should give it a shot. I'm all for it. Try some shit. But it's always you just get a little tiny bit on this side, and then you vote for the other party, you get a little tiny it's just this constant seesaw back and forth. At the end of the day, you guys get nothing but high prices. You get nothing but unaffordability. You get nothing but inflation. And again, Donald Trump advocated to work on a lot of these issues. He's not doing any of it. It's very frustrating. But I like your comment, Christy. All right, Blood Ray 316. Dear God, you are so full of ignorance and hate. Okay, again, give me an example, dude. Like, I appreciate it. Like, I admit, I never graduated high school. Maybe I am ignorant, and maybe I'm, full of hate. I don't think that I'm full of hate. All I do is advocate for the youth. All I do is advocate for the generations that are coming up behind me. That's all I do. That's what this platform is making life better for the people that are coming up behind us. Because here's the thing, this is blood rain. Okay. Here's your hope and change, right? Here's the thing that you say that I don't do. Okay. If we don't make a better life for the people that come behind me, I'm 46 years old. If I don't make life better for millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, guess what? They're not going to be excited to have kids. And the birth rate is in the fucking gutter, dude. I don't advocate for good things. I'm full of hate and ignorance. No. How about you fucking advocate for something that helps the people that come behind you? You're so worried about helping yourself. The boomers are so worried about helping themselves. They're not looking at the people behind them going, "Hey man, we gotta make this American dream thing work. Otherwise people aren't gonna have kids. We gotta make this American thing work. Otherwise, people aren't gonna believe in America. We gotta make this thing work because when I was 21 years old, I bought my first home. I want that for the people behind me. If that means I gotta pay higher taxes, I'll pay higher taxes. If that means I gotta work 60 hours a week and hire more people and teach people how to get in the middle class, that's what I'm gonna do. If that means I gotta advocate for bringing the work back to America so these people can have wages and salaries that allow them to have kids, to buy homes, to get a nice backyard, right? To maybe buy a nice car, go on vacation, get that white picket fence, buy the dog. If I don't advocate for that, guess what? It ain't gonna fucking happen, right? So, geez, like you don't know what you're talking about, dude. But I appreciate you got some of my ires. So there you go. All right, someone says disgusting. Christy 823. Actually, that's arguable because we were giving our money away to a lot of countries. We do give our money away, and again, I tell you guys all the time. Every country that we give money away to has universal health care and universal child care. We don't have it here. And again, I'm not even one of these guys that supports it, but I'm if we're gonna go support NATO, if we're gonna give whatever 100 million, billion, whatever fucking amount of money we give to NATO, and they all have universal health care and universal child care, and they're using our military because they don't have to spend that money on their military, that doesn't seem like a good trade to me. If the state of Israel has universal child care, universal health care, and again, they get like $4 billion from us. They utilize our military industrial complex. They have us backstopping all their shitty decisions. Okay. That doesn't seem like a good deal for America. I don't think that's very fair, if I'm being completely honest. But this is how our system works. So again, people got to open their eyes to what's going on here. And again, Donald Trump advocated for a lot of this stuff, pulling back, right? Again, reassessing who our allies were, right? Talking tough. Donald Trump's talked tough about NATO forever. He's never actually pulled out, right? He's never said, fuck you guys, we're going home. You guys, this is not an allyship. You're not a good partner to us. This doesn't work. We're coming home. No, he fucks up everything in the Strait of Hormuz and says, you know what, NATO? You didn't help us unscrew the situation that we created. We're not going to support you anymore. That is terrible negotiations. That's terrible way to treat an ally. Terrible way to treat a friend. Okay, and again, not that they've been our greatest ally, but Jesus Christ, like you guys have to see the hypocrisy in Donald Trump there. Super easy to talk, whole different situation when you actually create the problem. So anyway, all right, bro, fix your audio again. Do I have bad audio? I'm sorry, guys. My wife wanted to come down. I thought she might come in and talk today, so I wanted to not use my mic. But I will let's see if maybe I can make it a little bit better. Okay, it's public knowledge, all the places. We were investing our money under the previous administration. Yeah, and again, I don't know, Chris. I'm not sure you're giving us anything new there, but appreciate your comment. JDS to Helix. His supporters still stink. He followed the Russia war in 24 hours. His supporters still think he stopped the Russia war. Yeah, and again, people don't understand that like there's a lot of censorship around the Ukraine Russia war. As a YouTube content creator, we have to literally check a box that we're not going to talk about that war in derogatory language. Which again, nobody wants to talk about that conflict. And again, I'm one of these guys that says, you know what, get out of there. NATO did this to themselves. NATO literally walked themselves up to Russia. Russia told them not to do it. Putin told them many times, don't do this. And for the last 15 years, they have been walking up to Russia's doorstep. And finally, Russia's like, you know what? Let's go. And suddenly everyone's clutching their pearls, like, I don't know why this happened. I don't. This is he's going to attack, a potential NATO country. It's like, well, what did you guys expect? Like we shouldn't be there. This is not our problem. The best thing we could do is allow Europe to man up. Make Europe, put on its big boy pants, start doing some push-ups, pick up a rifle, instead of designing cars and drinking espresso, making fucking handbags, these guys could actually start defending their country, but they don't want to do that because they got America. And again, this is a big problem, guys. Donald Trump advocating for ending that war in 24 hours. He was going to end it before, he even became president. Okay. Donald Trump again talked a lot of shit. When it came time to show up, he did the exact opposite. And he probably did try to negotiate with Putin, but again, all you gotta do is just pull the weapons back. Ukraine will get crushed, but again, that's life. It's not our fight. You can literally give Europe, hey, Europe, you know what? We're out. We're out in 1 year. Okay. My second year, my term, we're out. It's on you guys. You're gonna have to defend this country if you want them, to Russia to not take them over. But again, we're not doing any of that because we want to keep the machine going. The military industrial complex is a scourge on this country, right? It'd be one thing if we had 80 companies making all of our weapons, but no, we got eight. Okay. You got this tiny group of people making all the weapons for the world. And again, our Department of Defense has not passed an audit in 8 years. We can't even audit these guys, know where this fucking money is going. Okay. We spend more money on our military than like the top 10 countries in the world combined. Okay, so this is a massive scam within our government, and nobody wants to talk about it because everyone's getting paid. It's a bad deal. Super chat coming in. Who's our super chat from? Our homeboy Goose. All right, our homeboy Goose. I appreciate it. I appreciate whenever sends super chats again. Get your comment read right away. I just can't keep up with everyone. I apologize. I can only read so fast, and again, I have an opinion on things, so I end up talking my mouth up. Okay, after World War II, USA's golden age was funded by a 90% tax rate on our wealthiest. It forced them to invest in their employees to avoid the tax. So win-win. Yes, I've talked about this many times. Um, I want to do it through tariffs, but again, you are 100% correct, right? But it's not just the wealthy, right? It's a lot of people had to sacrifice a lot of things. What people forget about World War II, and again, I lived in Wichita, Kansas, which was one of these towns that literally was transformed into a factory. So companies like Coleman, if you guys ever bought Coleman stoves, Stanley thermoses, Cessna airplanes, right? These companies were transformed to making supplies for the war. Again, the average American was essentially using less tin, less rubber, because again, all that stuff was going to the war effort. So America was actually sacrificing. America was on board with that conflict. We haven't been on board with the conflict since 2001. Okay, you guys have been going to war as a country, almost not clandestinely, but kind of in places that you don't talk about very much. We've been at war for 25 years, guys. And again, Congress doesn't want to rein it in because they're all bought and paid for by the Israeli lobbies and by the military industrial complex. And again, unpopular opinion, that's just what I've seen. I used to work for General Dynamics. Okay. I used to work for one of these massive military contractors, and this is exactly what happens. Okay. I've told the story many times that when I was building furniture as a young kid, my dad would say, "Oh, well, the school district's coming in. They're going to go buy a whole bunch of furniture. It's April. Their budget's going to re-up, so they're going to come start buying shit tons of furniture." I'd say, "Well, man, why do they always buy so much furniture?" He said, "Well, because they got to spend all of their budget. Because if they don't spend it all, they won't get as much or more next year." And this is how it works in every department in America, throughout our entire federal budget, throughout our state budget, and throughout our local budget. It's all a scam, guys. But yeah, you're 100% right. So again, if we want to get America invested, we need our businesses to invest in Americans. And I advocate for this on this channel all the time. Cut the third world off. You guys want to bring material in here? Great. Guess what? No more manufacturing in the third. Oh, people don't want to build iPhones. Yeah, I know plenty of people that want to build iPhones. Oh, people don't want to, pick lettuce. Yeah, okay, great. We'll create technology that'll make so we don't have to pick lettuce. I know lots of people that would love to work outside all day long. Well, we don't want to build houses. That's for the wetbacks, right? Again, I know lots of people that would love to build houses, right? Again, we've demonized and relegated certain kinds of work to the wagey class, the blue collar class, the poor. We've denigrated this kind of work. And you know what? We didn't have that in World War II. Everybody was invested in the country moving together as a unit. And we don't do that today. So our homeboy Goose dude, thanks for the super chat. I think your comment is spot on. And again, I don't want to do it through taxes. I think the taxes, when you give the money to the federal government, guys, they generally waste it. And this is the big problem I have as a business owner, as a guy who pays shit tons in taxes. I don't like how our money is spent. So again, if you guys wanted to fund specific things, I'd be on board. You want me to pay for the poor? I'm happy to pay for the poor, right? But we're going to pay for it in the way that I want to pay for it because it's my fucking money, right? If you want to pay for the military, great. I'm happy to pay for the military, but we're going to pay for it the way that I want to pay for it, right? We're going to have checks and balances. We're going to make sure that the ROI of our tax dollars actually produces something, right? We're not going to use old technology. We're not going to do things the way we've been doing them 30 years ago. We're going to innovate. We're going to create new ways to do things. But that's not what happens when you give money to government. So you got to be very careful about taking money in that particular. I think tariffs are a much better way. Tariffs create an incentive for businesses to not manufacture and to do that work here, right? Yes, if you want to buy something that comes in from India where I make hardware, well then I, the business owner, have to pay it. I can then pass it on to you, the consumer, and then you can pay that tariff or that tax, right? I pay the tariff. I give that money to the federal government. You want to create better incentives, not higher tax rates. So anyway. Love your comment, dude. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right. So it says, we shouldn't give any countries money, but Israel least of all. Yeah, and again, I'm all for helping other countries, guys. But again, until America looks like Dubai, until America looks like Shenzhen, China, like no, we're done. You know, and again, I tell you guys all the time, you think we have innovation in this country? We do not. Go look at downtown China. Go look at Beijing. Like, go to Dubai. Go to Qatar. You're gonna see what real innovation, real wealth looks like. And I don't think most people understand it. Like, and again, they think that because you went from a 20 megapixel phone to a 30 megapixel phone, like you've got it made. You know, you went from a 70-inch television to an 84-inch television. You got it made. You know, you bought a new car. You know, oh my God, it's got Wi-Fi. It's incredible. Like there's innovations in the world, guys, that you can't even fathom. You know, it's disgusting. I mean, we love anyway. The architecture of this country is abhorrent. The things that we build in this country are weak, are not beautiful. They're lazy, right? And because we focus on all the wrong things, the incentives are all wrong. You know, I tell the story all the time. We built the Empire State Building in 1931, built it in 415 days, on time and on budget. It's still there today. It's still an icon of architecture today. It's still used today. We got a bridge over in Baltimore, Maryland. And you guys remember it's called the Francis Scott Key Bridge. It was hit by that barge, right? Again, that fucking thing's been out for 2 years. They haven't even finished designing it. The people that pay taxes have been without that bridge, without a real working bridge for 2 years because they're trying to design a good bridge. Okay, that's bullshit. No business can operate that way. Again, if you're one of these people that advocates, well, you know, we got to make sure we do the right thing. We got to make sure we have the right concrete. We got to make sure we got enough gays in there designing. We got to make sure we got enough women. Make sure that we talk about the indigenous people that were there before us. This is the stuff that we focus on in this country. And again, every day you delay making something and completing something, you're paying for it. And it's easy to do when it's someone else's money. But if I had to take that money out of your pocket, you'd be up there. You'd be the first motherfucker on that job site saying, you know what? Get your fucking ass to work. You know, fuck the inspector. Fuck the permitting. I want my goddamn bridge. I'm tired of paying you, you fucking weakling. But we don't do that. We just go to work and pay our 22.5% to the federal government, you know, and just waste and waste and waste. And we don't get anything for it. And we fight. You know, "Oh, the rich guy, he's the reason I'm not wealthy. He's the reason I can't afford a home. It's the wealthy guy. It's the business owner. He's the problem. It's the lesbian woman. It's the fucking black guy." You know, these are not the problems, guys. It's all the federal money that we give them. It's taxation without representation, guys, if I'm being completely honest. So anyway, all right, Israel doesn't need the money. Again, great name, man. And I don't think Israel needs the money either. But again, what they need is they need the backing of America because the truth is that if America wasn't back there waving its finger at everyone, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think Israel would be around. I think that they would have fucked around too much and they'd have found out years ago. But America's always been there for them, you know, so good for them. All right, how about no foreign aid and and especially no foreign aid for people who don't think we have souls and our insects, cattle put on earth to be slaves. Yeah, I know that's where the goyim, you know, as they say. And again, I don't subscribe to all that shit, you know. But again, I'm just do unto others as one would do to you. That's kind of how I treat everyone as equals. As a guy who never went to college, again, has made a little bit of money, has lost a little bit of money, sells to wealthy people, employs middle class people. I think that I've seen a lot of what the world has to offer. And guess what? We're all the same. We're all equal. We're all equal, you know. And that's just kind of how I see, it, you know. So other things like again, slightly off topic, more to Trump related, but again, Trump talked so much shit when he was running for president. He got such a broad coalition of people that were like, "Yeah, this is great." And then he turned on everyone. Like the guy's a great talker, and Trump is the master of credible threats, right? He's the master of telling you what you want to hear. Like you guys remember those Doge dividends? Whatever happened to those? You guys get yours in the mail? I must have missed mine. You know, you guys remember those tariff checks? You guys get any of those, right? There was something there's a big tariff check we were all supposed to get. Like was it like $2,000. Like, did your guys show up? I don't. I mean, I got a letter said that I was going to get a rebate on the tariffs that I paid as an importer. I'm going to get paid. Are you guys getting paid? Do you guys get that? Did that check show up? I don't think that it did, right? Do you guys remember no tax on incomes under what was it, like 150,000 dollars? Do you guys ever see legislation on that one? Did Congress ever bat that one around? Like, I don't remember that happening, but maybe, you know, maybe I just make too much money. I didn't get any of that. I didn't get that money. Like, I don't. Trump is a master of bullshitting, but when it comes time to deliver, Again, there's an acronym for it. It's called TACO. Okay, Trump did this to himself, and he's lashing out at everyone as though they did it. So anyway, keep going, guys. We're gonna talk about. I want to talk about how Trump can fix this. Right. Let's do 4 or 5 more comments. You guys want to comment right away? I have to do super chats. I can't. I can't get. It's just literally impossible. First super chat. First chat. Super chat of the day is our homeboy Goose. So do I appreciate it. All right. Scrolling down to the end. We're gonna come back a couple comments. We're gonna continue on. All right. Looking for some new people. All right. Let's see. Bear shit bear. Again, I think I've seen you before. 9471. We pay NYPD more than our soldiers in dangerous wars. Isn't that investing in an internal security than external security? Yeah, that's actually a great point. The thing about soldiers though is they get paid hazard pay. So I believe they get paid a decent salary when they're over there in theater. I could be wrong about that, but that's the way I understand it. So I know it's basically like getting overtime pay in many ways. So I think they're making pretty good money when they're out there fighting the war. But again, fighting a war of choice, that's not what our military is for. Creating conflict so that our president can create solutions. That's not what the military is for. Our military is not there to defend the state of Israel. Our military is not there to defend NATO anymore. Because again, when you have an ally and you have a friend, you're supposed to get something in return, right? What does Europe give us? What, overpriced cars? What, they give us a jealous lifestyle while they get 5 weeks of vacation here, they get free healthcare, they get free childcare. They hang out on the Amalfi Coast and drink their fucking espresso, wearing their Gucci. Like, that's what they get. What do you guys get? Oh, yeah, you get $1 trillion military budget, right? You get to go fuck with the entire world, right? While you can't afford homes. Starbucks is whatever, $10 a cup at this day. I mean, it's insane with us. Cars are $50,000 a year. Women aren't having children, like thanks to academia. Feminism has prevailed, right? So women don't want to have kids anymore. They're too much of a burden. Like, why would I do that? I go get my bag. And again, and when you make the American dream not really possible for most people, how do you expect them to dream or aspire to have it? If it's not a reality, what's the point? I'm just gonna go get my fucking education. I'm gonna go buy my Gucci handbags. I'm gonna go, fuck a bunch of dudes in Cabo. I'm gonna have a great time. I'll live my best life. YOLO, right? You only live once. This is what we're creating. Meanwhile, in other places, like again, Donald Trump was just over in or JD Vance was over in Hungary. You know that in Hungary, they after you have 4 kids, you don't pay any more taxes. Zero. That's your VAT taxes, your Euro taxes. You don't pay any of that shit. You're done because they know they need kids. They're incentivizing the production of children. They're incentivizing the nuclear family because they know if they don't do it, guess what? If you don't have kids in your country, what happens? You got to import them. I tell you guys all the time, the reason we import so many illegals into this country isn't because we need the labor, guys. It's because we need to prop up the boomers. I tell you guys this all the time. Social Security and Medicare are pay-as-you-go systems. There's no lockbox. There's no, oh, I paid in, therefore I earned it. I deserve it. No, you need taxpayers, guys. You're not having kids. Guess what? You need more people in the workforce. When an illegal comes into this country, here's how it works. And again, this is the realest shit you guys are ever going to hear. As employers, our obligation to employ anyone, legal, illegal, black, white, brown, green, woman, man, dog, whatever, we have to fill out what's called an I-9, right? And this is basic, has your social security number, has your name, right? And we require a photo of your identification. That can be a driver's license. And again, when you live in the state of Illinois, Illinois gives them out to anyone. Doesn't matter. Super easy to get identification. And again, there's a lot of states that do this. Well, what happens is that I send that I-9 to my accountant. My accountant then starts taking out Social Security, Medicare taxes, right? These are called FICA taxes. Okay. They take out all these taxes, and these illegals are help funding Social Security and Medicare, right? And when you fund that thing, guess what? Every Republican that's ever ran for government, whether that's for Congress or for the presidency or for a council member, they always say, oh, God, we're never going to cut Social Security. We're never going to cut Medicare. But they sure like bringing those illegals in here, don't they? Again, no one was willing to stop this for a very long time. Donald Trump, to his credit, did close the border. You got to give him that. But he's upped the H-1B visa program, and he's upped the migrant worker programs to bring more of these people in here in a more of a legal fashion. But again, you still got people coming in, guys, and it's literally it's a scam to protect their voter base, which is boomers. I guess again, we could fix all this with E-Verify. And again, I've advocated for this for years. You want to fix the problem with illegals coming into this country? Remove the incentive. Again, hard to get paid. I get people on here all the time. They'll say, "Oh God, illegals get paid in cash." Like, okay, like whatever. You got a fucking Flintstone mobile. You Flintstone your car to work every day. What, you got running water and power in your fucking house? You you idiot. That is not how illegals are paid in this country. They've all got ID. They just put them in an I-9 and you just send the information to your accountant. It's a fake social security number. It's a social security number that goes nowhere and it doesn't matter. The point is that the taxes are paid into the social security and the Medicare system. That's all they care about, guys. It's protecting their voter base. It gives business owners like me, it gives large corporations that are in meatpacking and construction, it gives them a workforce. It's win-win. There's no incentive to hire you guys. Like I say this all the time. If you're looking at it from an incentive standpoint, there's no reason I would hire an American worker. There's no reason to. And these are the incentives. E-Verify would wash it all out. Because what happens with E-Verify is E-Verify doesn't just go to the accountant and then the accountant takes out taxes and sends it to the Social Security Administration and send it to Medicare. Okay. What it does is it runs through the Department of Homeland Security, it runs through the Social Security office, right? And it runs through the IRS. So they're verifying that you're actually legal. They're verifying that you actually have a real address and that your social security number is real. And they're looking for your criminal record. Okay. Currently, we don't have a system that does any of that. And this is the giant scam. Donald Trump was supposed to fix a lot of this stuff. He's not doing it. So I don't mean to go off on a tangent, guys, but I always have to say this kind of stuff. I feel like people don't really understand how employment works in this country, right? What it is that we are legally required to do as business owners. So people say things like, they'll say things like, let me think of an example here. They'll say like, that person hires illegals, right? Or that person's operating illegally. They're hiring people under the table. We hear all this kind of stuff, right? No, they're not, because there's no incentive to do that, right? As an employer, what am I legally required to do? I'm legally required to fill out an I-9 for tax purposes and have a photo ID. That's it. Almost every illegal that comes in this country has access to photo ID and fake social security numbers. It's an entire network, an entire system that provides these things to these people. So as an employer, if I hire all illegals, guess what? As long as I get those two pieces of information, I am 100% above board and legal. E-Verify would change all of that. Okay, this is how it works, guys. And I don't mean to bust your guys' bubble, because you still think that we're just paying people cash. It's not how it works. Every business in America operates above board. This is why you don't see raids on illegals. This is why you don't see all of this business owners going to jail. Because again, everyone is operating above board. So again, if I were to have to go to, as a business owner, if I were to have to go before the Department of Labor and argue that whether or not I was hiring legals or illegals, again, all I do, call my attorney, say, look, dude, he's going to say, okay, well, give me your employment records. And I'm going to give him all my employees, all of their photo ID, all of the I-9s, and then I'm done. I'm good. That's it. That's all you got to do. This is why you guys can't see the change in this country that needs to happen. Trump said he was going to work on this shit. He won't do it. It's so much easier to go fight terrorists in places that you guys are never going to go while they bring the third world in here to prop up Social Security, Medicare, and make sure you guys have cheaper meat, cheaper houses, cheaper restaurant cookers. Like, again, go to any restaurant in America, guys. Go to Thai, go to Mexican, go to Italian, go to American, go to fucking whatever. Guess who's cooking? Mexicans. And this is how it works. So anyway, all right, let's dig into the let's say hi to a few more people. Lone Wolf comes in here. Okay, you are literally getting a politician who does what he said he is going to do, and you're upset. Okay, Lone Wolf Cup, let's dig into that. So Lone Wolf Cup, I want you to put in the comments what Trump has done that you voted for. Give me an example of what he's done, and then I'll converse back with you on exactly why I think that it's either correct or incorrect. Okay. Again, if you guys are streaming the like button, add discussion. I feel like this is an important topic for people. I think we need to understand why a lot of us feel like Trump has stabbed us in the back. Trump is the traitor in chief to many of us. And again, a lot of it is because we put so much hope in this guy. And again, like a lot, the hope and change that people put into Barack Obama, right? The black community was like, oh my God, I got someone that represents me. This is how I feel, right? Not that I've got a white guy. No, I mean, that I got a guy who's a business owner. He understands illegal immigration. He understands the border problem, right? He cares about law and order. He cares about the rules. And he's completely fucked me. He's going to bring people back from the Middle East. He's going to bring people back from NATO. We're going to push hard back against these so-called friends. He hasn't done it. It's wildly frustrating. Okay. All right. Again, I'm gonna go to the end here, guys. Sorry, I need to make sure I keep up with comments. Like, people always give me crap for not staying up on comments. All right, Tide Brews in here, man. Fantastic, man. Good to see you, dude. So we got both our moderators in here, guys. So we should get a lot of great comments in here. All right, here we go. We got Vindoc72. I meant people support and protect peds, sending their kids to public school every day. You're talking they protect pedos by sending their kids to public schools? Again, what else you gonna do, dude? Again, you got to send your kids somewhere. Someone's got to teach their children. I mean, fucking, we're not doing it. Someone's got to. I mean, education day isn't really even education; it's daycare. It's so mom and dad can go to work, right? Because again, you got to pay those taxes. And again, when do you let women into the workforce? And again, sorry, I'm going to sound a little misogynist here. When you double the workforce immediately, what do you think happens to the wages? Like, come on, man. And then again, instead of reconcentrating the workforce, we just bring the third world in here. It's like, well, let's just bring the third world in here now. Now that the economy is growing, no one's having kids anyway. Let's bring these people in. That way we can keep wages low. We can keep benefits low. We can bring people in here who don't give a fuck about all the regulations and the red tape and the permitting and the inspection that we have in this country that slows the country down to a crawl. Like Jesus Christ, man. Like this all makes perfect sense to me. All right, Tom. Few more comments, guys, then we're gonna get in here. All right, it's definitely a Verity Topics. Okay, I'm not sure what you say there, dude. Who is this? Conalachi 1146 lies. Okay, good. Tell us where we're wrong. All right, blood rain in here. All right, let's go back with you. Trump literally owned teenage beauty pageants. Yes, 100%. Again, blood rain, you're 100% right. So if you guys don't know, Donald Trump bought Miss Universe, right? And with Miss Universe came Miss Teen USA. If you guys want to get into the Epstein files, like I'm happy to put it in the comments, and I will be happy to go into why Trump is most likely more in the Epstein files than people realize. And it's not because Trump has a lot of connections with Jeffrey Epstein. It's because Trump surrounds himself with pretty women, and especially young women. And everybody that is in the Epstein files of consequence was around young girls, impressionable girls, girls that wanted to be movie stars, actors, right? Models. This is the thing that they surrounded themselves with, right? This is what made the whole honeypot blackmail operation possible. And again, Donald Trump is not the head of it, but he is very much involved in it. So if you want to go down that road, put it in the comments. I'm happy to talk about it. And again, if you guys want to look at the people that Donald Trump is talking shit on and is pushing back against, these are all people that believe the Epstein files are a honeypot blackmail operation. Call it conspiracy, call it tinfoil hat, whatever you want, but all these people have this in common, and they are very skeptical of the state of Israel. So, all right, Titanberg says Democrats don't have majorities in the House or Senate and they don't hold power in the White House. Blame those in power. Yeah, that's fair enough, Titan. Bro. I find it very interesting though. Again, Titan, you can challenge me. Feel free to disagree with me. But APAC, and again, you guys say I put too much emphasis on APAC, but APAC donates to 94% of all politicians in our government. Okay, that's Republicans and that's Democrats, right? And again, that money comes from degeneracy, dude. That money comes from OnlyFans. Okay, that money comes from people that support that kind of shit, and I'm not okay with that. So again, if you're a Democrat, you should be refusing APAC money and you should be denigrating the sick fucking organization, but nobody does it. Same thing on the Republican side. They got no interest because they want that sweet, sweet money. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, right? This is why you guys can't get anything done in this country. It's because our politicians are constantly running for re-election. They're constantly saying whatever they got to say to keep power, right? Just like our president, right? Just like the backstabber in chief, right? Just like Donald Trump. Okay, this is what these guys are doing. So yeah, you can say they're not in power right now, and you're right. But again, the Democrat Party went after Donald Trump like I've never seen anyone go after a politician ever. And the truth is, oops, sorry guys. The truth is that they agree with all of it. They want this war. They want the conflict. They want MAGA, Republican Party, whatever you want to call it. They want us tearing each other apart. That's what they want. Because what they think is that they think that we're going to realize, oh my God, the Democrats were so much better than the Republicans. I'm going to vote for them. And what they don't realize is that they're signing their own death warrant, right? Because what we're doing is we're saying, no, no, actually, we're terrified of you guys. But guess what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I'm going to vote you guys. I'm going to give you guys all the power you want. You guys can, you can charge me 60%, all in federal taxes. You can, you can up all my contributions that I got to pay into every institution. You can, tell me that I've got to hire lesbian women and I've got to hire, African black men and I've got to hire, blue haired, bitches. I've got to hire, you can tell me exactly what you can tell me I can't say anything on YouTube. You can tell me that I can't say certain words. You're going to police me to death. You can bring the third world in here, right? Hell, you can do whatever you want to this country. Okay. But what's going to happen is it will build up a strongman. Call it Caesar, call it Hitler, call it Mao, call it Lenin, call it whoever you want. That person is going to present themselves. And this is what's going to happen to this country if we don't all start to play along to get along. And this is what is getting ready to happen. So I will let one side win because again, Donald Trump was supposed to bring us back to the center and fight for the 80 million people that voted for him, the people that the gave him the majority, right? Gave him the swing states, something that hadn't happened since Ronald Reagan. He's not doing it, which tells me that voting in this country is broken. Our democratic republic is broken. Okay, that's what happened. And so I will vote left. I will move this country as far left as I possibly can until a guy will come into office. And when he says he's going to kick people out, he drags moms out of homes. He drags their fucking kids out of schools. He drags all the guys off the job site. He puts them all in a concentration camp and he kicks them the fuck out of here. Okay. He's going to shut the border and he's going to incentivize. He's going to put the alligators, the guns, and he's going to kill motherfuckers that try and come into this country and send a message to everyone like, look, you don't try and come in here. We only accept the best people in this country. That guy is going to present himself, and it's going to be a very scary time. When all the blue-haired, crazy fucking people are crying in Minnesota about ICE and CPB coming in and grabbing all these people, again, when one of these guys gets killed and then when they get ran over, guess what? They're just going to throw him to the side and then they're going to go mow down the next person that wants to push back. This is what's coming in this country, guys. It's very scary. But if when we elect politicians, the only people that do what they say they're going to do are Democrats, that means that the Republicans don't have a spine. It means that the Republican politics don't matter. It means that Republicans are not responsive to the people that put them in office. And what Republicans are conveniently forgetting right now, what Donald Trump is conveniently forgetting right now, is that the people that got him in office weren't Republicans and it wasn't Democrats. It's independents. And again, if he's losing people like me, who are 10-year Trump supporters, 3-time voted for this guy, if he's losing people like me, what's happening on the independent side? Where do you think those guys are going? You think they're just not going to vote? You think they're gonna be like, "Oh God, you know what? Trump will do it next year." The Republicans, they're gonna do the things that I care about next election cycle. Okay, no, they're all going Democrat because most people just vote for, okay, well, this guy fucked me, so I'm gonna go for this guy. Oh, this guy fucked me, I'm gonna go for this guy, and they just get fucked every election cycle. And they just keep taking the dick from either side. But either way, you guys are taking the dick. Okay, like I'm done. I'm over it. I won't vote for these people until I get the person that I am more confident is gonna do the thing that I need them to do. That means Donald Trump plus. Okay, and again, it's very scary. I'm not saying that this is a good way to go, guys. In fact, it's probably gonna be bad. But again, Americans will the Democrats will pay off the student loan debt by taking money away from Europe. Democrats will give healthcare by taking money out of the military, by taking money away from Israel. Democrats are going to have a mandate to do all the things that they want to do, and they're going to promise you guys everything you want. And guess what? I'm going to pay more for it. I'm going to get censored. You guys are going to get censored. Okay. But you'll have your free healthcare. You don't have to go take care of yourselves. You don't have to go for a fucking walk. Go ride a bike, go lift some weights. Don't drink the fucking soda pop. You guys will have all the shit that you guys say you want. You'll get it all. I guarantee it. It will happen. And I'm happy to pay for it. Again, we'll let all the illegals in here, right? Like I'll just hire all fucking illegal immigrants. Like, why not? If that's gonna be our new labor pool, I'll do the same thing. You guys can all go to college. You can all, get your 10th fucking college degree. You can go work for Amazon. You can go work for DoorDash. You can go work for JP Morgan. You go for work that you guys can have everything that you want. But eventually, Mussolini is coming back. And again, we're going to get a strongman that is going to come and wreak havoc on this country in a very awful, awful way. I mean, we're talking like the Assyrians coming in and going to treaty organizations, right? They're going to have discussions with their enemy, but before they go to discussions, they go and kill the people that they're having discussions with. They go kill their kids, and then they feed their children to the people they're having negotiations with. We're going to get that kind of a society if we don't get politicians that are responsive to the people that put them in office, especially in the way that Trump got elected. Like, holy shit, guys. So anyway, sorry, long rant. Again, you guys want to know really like terrible atrocities? Go read about these Syrians. Okay, they were masters of psychological warfare. Okay. Wow, that got dark in a hurry. I appreciate everyone being here this morning. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Okay. So should we dig into hold on, let's see. We got Homeboy Goose in here. Our homeboy goes, she said, when I was growing up, we used to always use the same excuses about the quality of care and wait times for universal healthcare countries is far worse than the USA, but now they're better and faster. Yeah, I don't know if they're better and faster, guys. But the truth is that our expectations here in America have just plummeted so much. Like again, all we want is to be able to afford a fucking house. We want a job that pays us faster than the rate of inflation, right? We want to be able to keep up with, normal life. We want so little in this country at this point, guys. Like almost any kind of progress is considered a massive success. And it's really sad. It didn't used to be this way. But anyway, all right, here we go. Let's take the rest of our go. So the question now at this point, put it in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. The question is, what should Donald Trump do at this point? What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. I want to read these things in here. Okay. Donald Trump is at an inflection point. Okay. Again, he just and we don't know how any of the podcasters are going to respond to this today. Maybe they're just gonna be like, nah, Trump, this is just Trump being Trump. Like, no, they're gonna go about their business. Maybe they're just gonna, make a little fleeting comment about it and then go about their day. Right. Or the great Louis C.K. Or they're gonna double down and go really fucking hard against Trump. They're gonna be calling for the 25th Amendment. They're gonna be calling for getting rid of this guy because he's mentally incapacitated. They're gonna be going for Israel owns this country. They're gonna double down, and it's gonna get really bad. Okay. I don't know which one they're gonna do. I have no idea. Again, you guys know where I stand on this thing. I think this guy needs to go. I think the country's too divided, especially on the Republican side. We're too divided for this guy. He can't bring this country together, which is one of the tenets of what he ran. Okay, so what should Trump do? I wrote it down. It's 4 words: get back to work. That's all he's got to do. He wants to help the Republicans in the midterms coming up, right? He wants to help JD Vance or Marco Rubio, whoever's going to run next. Trump needs to get back to work, okay? And all he really needs to do is he needs to focus on MAGA, right? He needs to focus on the thing that got him elected. And until he starts doing that, he's going to be in deep shit. Okay, so what does what does that mean? Okay, so I got a list of things for you guys. I want you guys to go through these things. And again, Trump's worked on some of these. The problem is that he's working like a $15 an hour fucking employee that I would shit can. He's not working like a billionaire. He's not working like a guy that started businesses, a guy that's a branding and marketing expert. He's not acting this way, right? So here you go. Number one, we're going to go over the top 20 tenets of what he ran on in 2024. Okay, here you go. And again, some of these things he worked on, some of these things he needs to get back to work, right? Seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Okay, again, I think Trump has nailed it on the border. On the migrant invasion, he's not helping himself. Okay, he's letting tons of Chinese in this country to go to our colleges. Okay, so we're still we're educating the world here, right? And he'll say, oh my God, we gotta let these people in here. The colleges, they're gonna go out of business. It's like, great, let them go out of business. I've got no problems with that. Again, this is America. We're a capitalist country. We're not. This isn't fucking Russia. This isn't a socialist communist society. This is a capitalist country. The colleges aren't providing a good service, right? Their degrees aren't worth the paper that they're printed on. They need to go out of business. Okay, they can take all their endowment money. They can keep themselves in business. They got lots of endowment money. Okay, Trump has not fixed the migrant invasion. He's just changed the way the migrants come into this country. Instead of just walking across the border, they're coming in through massive H-1B visa program, and they're coming through massive migrant program. This is it's like H-2A program. I talked about it a month ago. That's number one. Okay, so Trump's got a lot of work to do. He needs to do what he says he's going to do and kick these motherfuckers out of here and focus on Americans. Give the jobs to Americans. That means big corporations. And we're going to go through. All right. Number two, carry out the largest deportation in American history. So this makes for a great question, right? So the largest mass deportation in history. Do you guys know who has deported the most people? And I've talked about it many times, but here I'm going to pull it up just so I give you guys a quick little stat here. So what president deported the most? We'll just make it very generic. The most people. And for those of you guys who don't know, it wasn't Barack Obama. All right, so da 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 da. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Oh my God. Wow, this is amazing. What happened? When was Dwight D. Eisenhower in office? All right, it was right after this little thing. It was called World War II, right? What did they think about the Japanese back then? Oh my God, they did not like them. Dwight D. Eisenhower deported more people than anyone else, right? The next is Barack Obama, okay? Barack Obama did not run on a platform of deportation. Hope and change and deportation. I don't remember that part of the speech, okay? He just ran on hope and change, okay? The change he was talking about was kicking motherfuckers out of this country, defending the border. Say what you will about the guy. You guys know me. I despise Barack Obama. But the guy did it without running as that being part of his platform. Donald Trump made deportations, the largest mass deportations in the history of this country, a cornerstone of his election. He gets a little bit of pushback. He gets a little bit of pushback in Minnesota, and then he fucking turns tail. Okay. So Trump can start there. He can start carrying out the mass deportations. And then again, when people are like, "Oh my God, you hate black people, you don't like brown people, you hate immigrants," shut the fuck up. "Oh, this is unfair. This is bullshit. This isn't America. This is tyranny." Okay, well, great. Moving on. And he could just do what he ran on. And again, Trump would build up his base. His base would get energized. The people that have to run behind him would have a leg to stand on. They could look to this thing and say, "Yeah, we did this thing. It was unpopular. People didn't like it, but look at what the country looks like now." And again, maybe it's not good. I don't know. But this is what the guy ran. This is what the voters said to do. Okay. He could do that. That's getting back to work. All right. So again, carry out the largest mass deportation in American history, end inflation, and make America affordable again. Okay. Inflation, you guys, is going to see the highest that not you've ever seen. It's going to see the highest 1/4 jump that you guys have seen in probably since COVID. Why? Because of what happened over the Strait of Hormuz. And again, Donald Trump will just say, "Oh, this is just a one-time thing." Okay, no. This is literally what definition what inflation is. He's not trying to make life more affordable. He's trying to help out the state of Israel create the greater Israel project, and he's doing it at the expense of all of us. Every one of us, especially the people that voted for Donald Trump. He's doing it at the expense of the entire world. This is how much sway this little tiny country has on Donald Trump and on a lot of people that are around him. Okay. This is a major problem. We talked about at the very beginning of this cast. I'm not going to go over it again. Okay. So there's three things, the top three things in Trump's Make America Great Again campaign. He could work on this. Get to work. Okay. Let's hear what you guys say about this. Then we'll continue on. All right. Here we go. Scroll back. And again, guys, there's no way I can get to all the comments. So you can super chats, super gifts, get your comments read right away. All right. Who's this? Deep, let's see, Priest 65, 65, 60. Okay, so just remember, Trump is an idiot. They cannot run. A company cannot run. A company cannot run a business. He's a fool. He was elected by a group to push their agenda. Okay, well, again, I voted for this guy. He's not doing what I voted for, so I don't know who you're talking about. Again, you're gonna have to explain again. You're kind of fragmented there in what you're saying. You have to clear up your typing, clear up your sentence structure there, and help us out there. I'm not sure what you're saying. All right, the invasion is over. We're invaded globally. Yeah, I don't know if we're invaded, man. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do. So again, guys, put in the comments. I want to hear what you think that Trump should. What should Trump do? Again, how does he get this country back on course, right? How does he get his voter base to like him again, right? Or am I just in the minority? Are we in the minority again? Maybe Trump's right. Trump says, CNN told him that he's got 90% approval with MAGA. It's like, well, if everyone that was MAGA leaves, yes, you're only left with the people that agree with you. So I don't know where these numbers come from. Again, I think most polls are bullshit. All right, let's see. Because he can't run a business, don't you understand? Okay, cool. I see. It says, so this is D Price, maybe 65, 60. Again, I think a business owner, it's important that we get a business owner into government, right? Because people say that, a government's not supposed to be around like a business. And I agree. I'm with it. But when you're $39 trillion in debt, $40 trillion in debt, that basically means that you don't care about money. All right. Now, if you end up with too many decades where you don't care about money, well, then suddenly money doesn't matter, right? And if we're being honest, the only money that matters, guys, is that you guys pay your federal taxes. That's it. Again, the minute you decide that you're not going to pay your taxes, guess what? The IRS will be sending you letters. They will show up asking you questions. They will file motions for you to show up in court. They will put liens on all your shit. They will sell off everything you have, and then they will throw you in jail. Okay, this is how it works. Just ask Wesley Snipes. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, ask anyone that's ever challenged oh my God, taxation is bullshit and the income tax is not real. Okay, again, they've all been thrown in jail. Okay, you will not win. Yet, when you say, well, hey, you know what? If you could audit me, well, can't I audit you? And then they'll say, shut up, taxpayer. Shut up, wagey. Okay, well, hey, hold on. Wait, we haven't done an audit of Fort Knox in like 20 years. Like, wait, let's go make sure that gold's there. How about we audit that? Shut up. Shut up, taxpayer. Pay us your 22.5%. Be a good little taxpayer. You're like, well, hold on a second. This doesn't seem right to me. Like, we got $1 trillion of our budget going to the Department of Defense. Like, shouldn't we at least like ask some questions about where that money went? Could I at least get an accounting of that dollars? Like, shut up. You're like, well, what about the Fed? The Fed, Eric told me that the Fed has inflated my generation into poverty. Eric told me that the reason houses are so expensive and food's so expensive and cars are so expensive is because the Fed keeps printing money. Well, can we at least audit what they're buying? Don't worry about it, retard. The Fed will take care of that. Those are the experts. Those are the smart people. Stop asking questions. Give me your 22.5%. Go back to work. Slave, serf. Okay. This is what we have going on today, dude. At some point, we have got to turn the spending off. Okay. And again, any business owner knows the minute you run into tough times, sales slow down, costs are up, right? You start analyzing everything. The problem is that your government guys isn't analyzing nothing. In fact, they're just continuing to spend. No, if we just spend more money, it's like the people that say, oh God, communism didn't work because we didn't communism enough. Okay. It's the same thing with spending. But because it doesn't come out of your guys' pocket, because most of you don't really pay any fucking taxes, you don't realize that you're being fleeced. When I ask the question here all the time, like, what are you guys willing to take less of? No one ever has an answer. It's always, oh, someone else should take less. Take it from the rich people. Give the poor less. It's always from somebody else. It's never what you will take less of. It's very frustrating. So anyway, dude, I appreciate your comment. And again, I don't always agree with people, but I love to go back and forth with you guys. So thanks for the comment. All right, see, this is let's see if we can find someone in here who hasn't I haven't read from. This is John Johnson, CL2BO. No, they said he had 100% mega support. Yeah, and again, I again when the numbers are so high, like I think what did Kim Jong Un, didn't he get like 98% in North Korea? And Trump had like 100%. I think they said that. I was like, man, that's pretty impressive. Good for him, man. That's winning. John Johnson says, you're saying you didn't vote for President Trump to keep us safe and our children safe. In the future, we're just another coward. Yeah, and again, I don't see it that way, John Johnson. And again, I think it's right. If you guys think that, you're voting for Donald Trump to keep us safe, and so fighting conflicts in the Middle East and, being a part of NATO and fighting Russia and Ukraine and helping out the state of Israel, you think that that helps keep America safe, then great. I think that's fantastic. I just disagree. Again, as someone who has been alive for a long time, as I get older in life, I'm realizing that again, this nation building, this whole Middle East project, it's all a giant scam. It's just some of it wasn't like $12 trillion of the debt we have today comes from fighting these conflicts in the Middle East. And the truth is that you're supposed to take your nation to war, right? And again, we used to pay for war with war bonds. We don't do that now. We just print the money, guys. And this is one of the reasons that we're always in war, because it's easier. It's easier for the president to send a nation to war to go fight foreign conflicts than it is to ask for the nation's consent to do so. And so this is why you guys are in debt. So again, it's easy to say, oh my God, be terrified. Look what happened on 9/11. That could happen again. Hezbollah is right around the corner. Al Qaeda's over there. Like, what would you go fill up your tank with gas tonight? Make sure you go see if oh God, what are some of the other groups? I'm fucking drawing a blank here. But there's all these groups. Like, make sure those people aren't around the corner. Like that. I haven't looked for those people ever. Because the truth is, guys, is that what's going on in the Middle East doesn't affect us. And some people say, "Oh my God, we got to defend the nation. We got to, go fight these wars over there, so that we don't have to fight them here." Like, I remember all of this stuff. Every time we go and we liberate a country, right? They're going to greet us as liberators. They want us to drop the bombs. They told President Trump, "Don't stop dropping the bombs in Iran. We need those bombs. This is going to liberate us." The propaganda, guys, is insane. And if you guys don't want to be really honest, like go read Osama bin Laden's letter as to why he attacked America, why he orchestrated that event to take down the Twin Towers. And what you guys will find out, and I don't even know if it's still on the internet, if I'm being completely honest, is that he was fucking pissed that America was over there fucking around in the Middle East. And then you got to go back to, again, because this is when bin Laden was alive, you got to go back to looking at the Iran Iraq conflict, right? When Saddam was saying, gas the Kurds, who do you think he got that gas from? That came from America, right? When Israel goes over and destabilizes any of these places, Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, okay? They're using American weapons. They're using American intelligence, right? When we go fight Russia, via Ukraine, they're always saying, "Oh my God, we got to do what Israel says," because again, all these other countries, they're using proxies. Okay, America is the proxy, guys. Like, we're the bad guy in this situation. And again, not the American citizens, but the military-industrial complex, the people in politics, the people that are getting all the money in kickbacks from the military-industrial complex, the kickbacks from APEC, the donations from APEC. These guys, they're not good. And this is how I see it. And yeah, I could be completely wrong. I think that our borders are perfectly safe. We're one of the only countries in the world that has vast oceans around them, other than fucking, Australia, New Zealand. Like, we have something that, again, most other people don't have. Again, we have a massive military, which we could absolutely have here. Again, you could build an iron dome, a golden dome, whatever the fuck we're calling it, platinum dome. We can build that stuff. Again, pull out of the Middle East, pull out of the rest of the world. Let those guys take care of themselves. Like, we could protect the waterways. We don't have to have bases all over the place to do that. I think I read somewhere we have something like 370 some bases around the world. Like, what could we do with that money back here? So again, I just see things differently in your job, but John, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, and again, I read your comment, and I'm happy to talk about it. Again, you keep putting your comments in, and I'm happy to read them. All right, David Sullivan says, David Sullivan, 1993. Trump ate Sun Tzu. I know. And it seems to be like Sun Tzu, man. Your name is getting used a lot these days. Because again, Trump, maybe he is, manifesting his inner Sun Tzu. But it seems to me like the Democrats are they're basically they're using the art of war right now. Don't interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Something to that effect. I think that's what's going on. Like, everyone sees what Donald Trump's doing. He's destroying his base. He's giving everything away to the Democrat Party. And again, he could right the ship, but he's running out of time, like in a big, big way. All right, Hazy 420 Christian nationalists aren't the problem. It's dispensational Christians, aka Zionist Christians. Get it right. Christian nationalism is the antidote to the Epstein class. Yeah, I don't again. If Trump doesn't fix this thing, son, like Trump's going to go down as the Epstein administration. The stink of Epstein is going to follow this guy forever. And I hear people say it all the time. Oh God, Trump's the only president to release the files. It's like, yeah, Trump didn't release those files, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys understand this, but that was overwhelmingly supported by Congress. It was a veto-proof majority. Trump had no choice but to sign the Epstein Transparency Act. Okay, don't get it twisted. He didn't have a fucking choice, right? And again, everything that means anything has not been released. You guys got a little bit, right, to wet your beak, but again, half those files have been released. Even though Congress literally mandated that they need to be released in 2 months, you guys get nothing. Again, where's Congress? Why isn't Congress pushing up against the Department of Justice saying, hey, what the fuck? Where's these files? We told you guys to do this. Your president signed it. We're going to start impeaching you guys. We're just going line item by line item. Pam Bondi, gone. Todd Blanche, you're the guy. You're not going to release the files. Gone. Kash Patel, you're in those files. Gone. And just start working your way through all these guys and get rid of all of them until somebody will do what Congress told them to do. But when the executive branch is the people that are supposed to implement the laws that Congress passes and they don't do it, there's no mechanism to hold them accountable other than Congress. Congress doesn't want to do it. They're letting Trump nuke himself. They're like, why would we want to talk about the Epstein files? This whole war thing, this whole Israel thing, this is way better than the Epstein. So it's bad. And meanwhile, China cozying up to Taiwan. China is just sitting back, just watching shit happen. China got nothing to say. Russia doesn't really have much to say. Everyone's just watching Trump nuke everything that he has run on for the last 10 years. And now Trump is so narcissistic and such a megalomaniac, he's blaming his own people. The people that put him in office, he's blaming them. It's insane. I can't even believe this is happening. All right, Biznotch is in here. At least Trump is ending the war. Okay, I don't know what war Trump's ending, dude. Let me know. Biznotch, what war is Trump ending? Let's hear it. All right, three let pasta tapa. Okay, Trump is bringing peace to the Middle East. I know. Just give him one more war, guys. Again, we started this stuff in the 1980s, guys. Like, go watch the movie Charlie Wilson's War. If you guys want to really like understand exactly how all this stuff started, and you can't go read anything, you don't have the attention span to do a little bit of Googling, like just go watch Charlie Wilson's War. That's a great place to start. Okay. Um, great place to start. You can also watch movies like Jarhead. This will give you a little bit, you can kind of walk the history forward, which would be good. All right. Are you comparing him to Kim Jong Un? Seriously? No, I'm not comparing him to Kim Jong Un. I'm just saying that Kim Jong Un had 98% approval, right? And he lives in a communist dictatorship. And Donald Trump got 100% approval, according to CNN. So I'm just reporting what I saw. I'm not saying anything. Like, again, I don't have to say anything. The news media and Donald Trump, they're all doing this to themselves. I don't have anything to do with this. Sun Tzu says, Trump started the war. What do you mean Trump started the war? You kidding me? We had to go over there and get the missiles. We had to make sure we got the uranium. We got to make sure that America's safe. Yeah, come on, son. What are you saying, man? You're part of the you're part of the propaganda, man. Okay. Let's see. Biznosh says true. This is a Hakuna Mimosa. Interesting name. Okay. Do you find it odd that Melania had that press conference last night addressing Epstein? Yeah, let's talk about that, guys. This is great. I actually before I did before Trump's batshit a text batshit truth post came out, I was going to talk about Melania. I literally created a picture of Melania Trump like Emperor Palpatine in The Empire Strikes Back. You know, because yeah, she's fucking terrified of this thing. Hi, honey.
I told you I'll come on your
You
stream.
gonna come hang out? Oh my god, my wife's here. She's gonna come have this crazy conversation with us. So you have to pull up a seat and you have to kind of get in here, guys. I'll have to pull my thing back. For those of you guys that don't know, my wife Suchet is gonna hang out with us for a minute. So she's gonna see if she can participate for a second. This can be kind of difficult. So this is my beautiful wife. So we've been married for 7 years. We had our anniversary, what,
You
like
might want to push it
a
back.
couple days ago. Push it back. All right. It's about as far back as I can get. Okay. So we're gonna talk about, let's see, who's this? This is
What were you saying about, America started the war? Somebody was saying.
Yeah, but we gotta kinda stick to what the people wanna talk. We can get back to that, but you wanna talk about that?
No, no, you said something like we had to do it or
We
something.
get Son was being facetious. He was being kind of funny, you know. So again, we had to go over there and do that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is
You can talk about it. I don't care.
okay, we'll start there. Hakuna Mimosa says, "Did you find it odd that Melania had that press conference and last night addressing Epstein?" So yeah, so this is crazy, right? So the Epstein files will not go away, and I think that what I read was that a letter came out. Did the letter come out stating that she was talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ghislaine Maxwell, and she was telling Ghislaine Maxwell, "Hey, next time you come to New York, girl, let's go out. Let's go get mimosas and fucking let's go handbag shopping." So Melania had to come out and say, I don't know this chick. Like we didn't have relationships. I wasn't hanging out with her. I never went to his island. I. Oh yeah, and Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happened? So anyway, what do you think about that?
I think that people, there was online chatter about that basically what's happening is that Israel's gonna tell who's the boss. They're gonna show who the boss is, and Donald Trump is Bibi Netanyahu's bitch.
So we've got another super chat coming in. So give your comment, and then we're gonna talk. We gotta talk to our super chatter. So again, we're gonna get to your super chat. Just give me just 1 second. All right, keep going.
Anyway, so that's what it is. And there's some leak, like a really nasty leak that's coming out, and Melania decided to get ahead of it. And basically that's what I think. If there's something coming out, it's gonna be a weekend where some dirt comes out about the whole Epstein thing. The 3 million documents that they are holding,
Yeah.
that they are not releasing, there's something in there that's probably gonna come out.
Yeah. My wife's much more analytical and practical and like 10 times as smart as I am. I just like to talk shit. She's much more of the she actually knows what she's talking about. So if you guys want real information, and she's like an encyclopedia of information. It's very fascinating. Okay, I'll get my comments on that, but we got to talk to our super chatter real quick. We always do the super chats. Again, appreciate the $2. Thanks for the big super chat. We always like those things. All right, let's see. What do you think about Mondani? Ooh, this is good. I've given my opinion on Mondani like many times, but honey, we'll let you take the cake on this one.
Honestly, like New Yorkers elected their whoever they wanted to elect mayor. What the fuck anybody cares about anyway? Like, how does it affect us in any way? I think it's a signal that the whole system of American dream, or like affordability, is a major issue. Trump ran on that and he dropped it like a you know
Yeah.
hot turd basically. And then yeah, I mean, affordability is a major issue, and as far as I know, like whoever, I don't think it really affects us in any way. And I don't think that it can be interpreted as a signal, but that's really about it.
Yeah, I find it to be very interesting what happened in New York. So basically, what you have is the important thing to know about New York is full of wealthy people, right? It's the finance capital of America. It's literally the capital of America, if you want to be real. And people say it's Washington D.C. No, it's New York. This is where all the money is made. It's where all the wealthy people live. And if you guys have ever been there, we got to stay there. We got to stay on Park Avenue. We went to a client's house there. We literally got to hang out there for a weekend. And I'll tell you guys, like it's insane. Like when you're living in one of these crazy not penthouse, like an apartment. It's like an apartment. Like literally, you can just walk right down to Central Park. Like these guys, they walk down to everything. They've got the best of everything. They all have doormen. It's like a world you guys cannot imagine. Like you
Yeah.
can't even go up into these buildings without security. We can't deliver furniture into these places, which is what our business is, without having like crazy amounts of insurance. Like insurance we would normally not keep. We have to we have basically have to purchase special riders in order to deliver furniture into these places. This is how wealthy this town is. But what happened was that you have people that have to run all the businesses, right? They have to run the bodegas, have to run, clean the buildings, have to, run the McDonald's, have to run the car services, have to basically support this massive financial capital. And truth is, all these people can't afford to live there.
Yeah.
So what they did is they saw a guy, this guy, he's saying, you know what, I'm gonna try and make life more affordable. I'm gonna tax these wealthy people where all the money is, right? And I'm gonna give you guys service. He ran on this thing called it was like free buses or something like that. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's gonna cost so much money. It's like it's a fucking bus. And so everyone's freaking out about socialism, communism, all these kind of things. And then the thing that sealed the deal for this guy, you guys will probably remember this, was a viral moment when Mandami was there talking with everyone, right? All the other candidates, they're asking like, where are you going to go when you get elected, right? And what they were doing is they were pandering to the wealthiest demographic in New York, which is Jews, right? You don't have to like that. That's just what it is, right? This is the wealthiest people pretty much anywhere in America, and good for them. But what he did is they asked everyone, they're like, where are you going to go once you become mayor of New York? And everyone's like, I'm going to Israel. Then I go to the next guy. Well, I'm going to Israel. They asked the third guy, where are you going? I'm going to Israel. And they asked Mandami, right? This is what won in the election. They said, Mandami, where are you going when you get elected mayor? And he says, you know what? I ain't going anywhere. I'm standing right here in New York. I'm working on New York. That's why that guy got elected. That's the disconnect within that city. These people think that the serfs should take care of them. The serfs are like, yeah, we want to take care of it, but we can't fucking afford to be here. Mandami says, you know what? I'm going to help you out with that. And they overwhelmingly elected that guy. And then what happened? Right? What happened after Mandami was elected? Okay, everyone's like, "Oh my God, everyone's going to leave New York. They're all fleeing New York. They're going to have budget deficits. They're not going to be able to make it." Right? And again, every city has budget problems. Every city has money problems. Doesn't matter if you're New York or if you're little freaking Alton, Illinois, where we live. Every city has problems. Well, guess what? Most people didn't leave. Did some people leave? Absolutely. A lot of people left. Again, we sell a luxury furniture product, and we used to ship, and we still ship tons of stuff to the Northeast. We still ship tons of things to New York, right? But what we did see is we started to see a lot more of our business moving from New York and Connecticut down to West Palm Beach, Florida, because there were a lot of people that were moving down there. But the truth is most of the people that are moving down there, they can have multiple homes. So what they're doing is they're establishing a residency in Florida, but they're keeping their summer home and their home where beautiful New York is the most beautiful, which is the spring and the summer. They're keeping those homes in New York, but the bulk of their income taxes, where they pay the bulk of their taxes, is going to go down to Florida. So that's kind of what I think about. I think people are just pissed off with the cost of living. They're pissed off with the affordability issue, like my wife was saying. And the truth is that if these guys don't start, and here's what I say about Donald Trump: if the electorate doesn't start being responsive to the people that they vote into office, then the people are going to revolt. And what you saw in New York was a clear revolt. They're like, you know what, this guy's going to do something for us, and guess what? He will win again if he just does what the voters want. This is the problem. So what do you say about Mandami? We got more super chats coming in, guys. We'll get to those in a second. Say whatever you want about the guy. The guy is responsive to his voters. That is all Donald Trump has to do, but he's not doing it, which is why there's just such chaos with this guy and why there's such chaos in the Republican Party. So I appreciate your super chat, dude. And again, you guys want your comment read? Super chat's the only way. Super gifts are fine as well. The only way you get your comment read right away. We scroll to the very end and then we move back a couple of comments and we just start running. Okay, it's all we can do. I apologize. Jesus Christ, guys. Okay, who's in here this morning? We got Mikado 16, man. Thanks, dude. Mikado's Mikado's one of these guys that has followed me for a while. He likes to give super chats as well. And again, super insightful guy. Mikado, you're a machinist, if I remember correctly. All right, the brains and the brass. Good morning, Chief. Yeah, thanks, dude. Glad you're here, Mikado. All right, next super chat coming in. We got Jaylet Papastak. I cannot say your name. I really wish honey, can you say that name?
I don't have my glasses.
Oh boy, you're really blind. Okay, well, I'm reading for both of us then. All right, this is what happens when you guys get old. You gotta start wearing glasses. All right.
Upstairs.
Sometimes my wife she'll be like, I can't find my glasses. I know where my glasses are. She'll be looking all over the place, and I'll be looking. Help me find my glasses. And it's like I'm looking around, and they'll be on her head. Okay, wealthy people are leaving New York. Look at the stats. Yeah, no, again, I just said wealthy people are leaving, but not as many people are leaving as the doomers said, right? As Fox News said was going to.
That's the thing. Wealthy have the options.
Yeah,
the wealthy can go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the middle class and the lower class are always the ones that are going to be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? My job is here. The wealthy have unlimited options. They can move to Dubai. Not anymore.
Yeah, might have been such a good idea.
So many options. And then you basically that's the challenge anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Wealthy have options. They can pack up and they can hop on their private jet and go anywhere they want.
Yeah, and for those of you guys that don't know, we own a manufacturing business here in St. Louis, Missouri. We make real American furniture. We make it all with American labor, American plywoods, American hardwoods, and we ship it all over the country, right? And the truth is, I don't want to. We have a lot of different groups of people that have come from places where wars have been started by America. They come into America as refugees,
Yeah.
right? And then they become American citizens. So when people say that we're keeping America safe over the Middle East, the truth is that we're making refugees. We're displacing shit tons of people, and a lot of those people end up right here in America, you know. So anyway, that's all I'm gonna say on that. But again, I appreciate your comment. Again, we sell furniture to the wealthy people that live in New York, and I'm here to tell you guys that people are leaving New York, but not as many as they say, and they are actually going down to Florida. A lot of them are moving to Austin and Dallas, Texas as well. You know, so there you go. Take that for what you will. All right, next comment. These social policies have always failed. Okay, so let God damn it. I should be able to say your name, but I can't. Let us know what policies you're talking about. I want to know again. You guys know how we do the stream. There's no bullshit comments in here. Again, I appreciate the super chat, but you got to give us something to work with. Okay, we have to be able to respond. We are the hosts. You are the co-host. If we don't have an easy, a clear way to communicate with you, we end up trying to waste time figuring out. People don't like that. It's not good for the algorithm. And again, we want to be respectful of people's time. So let us know what the policies are there, and I'll scroll down. I'll find your comments. So appreciate it, dude. Um, okay, more super chats. All right, exactly. Middle class will be stuck with the bill. Yes, 100% right. So wealthy can leave, middle class cannot. Who pays? Yeah, I don't know, honey. Can you speak up to that at all? Do you got anything to say about that?
But this is how socialism fails, right?
Yeah.
There's the people are gonna leave, and then the people that are left, um, they're probably gonna get taxed more. So the person in the middle who's, I mean, it's not socialism is not the solution, which is what Mandani wants. He wants free this and free grocery stores, which sounds like a food bank. That's what he wants. It's not a sustainable. Socialism is a contract that doesn't scale.
Yeah.
That's just how I've looked at it. Like, so when Eric's parents come to us or when we go, they pay for everything because they're wealthy. They're old boomers. They're retired. They have a lot of money, and everywhere we go, every dinner, wherever we go, they will pay for it. And when our kids come to us and when we go out, even though I have grown children, we pay for everything. Like, it's socialism is kind of, let's say, and hypothetically, if we were to hang out with Eric's parents, my kids and us and Eric's parents will pay for everything. So socialism, that's kind of to me is the idea of socialism. Like when Eric and
Works
I,
at the micro level, not
at the micro level, it works. And Eric and I started dating. I was making more money than him. A lot of the times I would go, and when we go places, I would pay for things. So it works on a very microscopic level. It just doesn't scale. And when you're talking about a city of several million and a country of several, million,
yeah,
billion,
you're running out of other people's money to spend. And
it just doesn't work.
an interesting thing about my wife, you guys, I mean, here's a great insight. This is something you're probably not going to get on a lot of other streams. My wife comes from India, right? And she's been here for what, 25 years, 30?
Well, it'll be 30 soon.
Yeah, damn near 30 years. So a long time. You moved here in
Seven.
97? Yeah, 97. Okay. Where she comes from, India,
Socialists, yeah.
used to be socialist, right? So when my wife talks about socialism, just like when I talk about tariffs, right? When I talk about how business works, when I talk about how the economy works, I'm not talking about it because I read a book. I'm not talking about it because some professor told me how it works. I talk about it from the standpoint of a guy that does it from my personal perspective, whether you agree with me or not. When my wife talks about socialism, she remembers what socialism was like. And she'll tell me the stories about, again, when they got access to these other companies, right? These other innovations, these other things that were out in the rest of the world, they were like, "Holy shit, this is incredible." Right? So talk about that for a second. Just tell me about what happened when India, and you can speak broadly, but tell me about what happened in India when they went from being socialist to being more capitalist or opening up to the rest of the world, as you put it.
Yeah, I
Talk
think
about that for a second.
like I think in the 90s is when Mohammed Singh, Manmohan Singh, I'm sorry. I believe he was the one that opened up the economy. And
Yeah.
I grew up in a socialist India. And I distinctly remember that when you got to go buy a car, you had two options. There was the Ambassador and there was Padmini. And Ambassador was like one was a French joint venture and one was something else. You could buy two different types of sedans. Like, I know this will blow your mind as Americans because when you go to buy a car, you have literally thousands of options. You could buy two sedans. Those were your two choices, and they're absolute piece of shit cars because that is all That is what all the government is selling. Two cars. You want a car, you buy either this or that. That's all you got. And that is like that just kind of in a nutshell. They're absolute pieces of shit cars. Nobody wanted them. And I remember distinctly going to college and all of a sudden I started seeing these Korean made cars. And my mind was blown the first time I saw
Mhm.
like a nicely designed Korean made car, and that they were the first ones to market, and then Japanese came to the market, and all kinds of European cars started coming to the market. It was mind blowing to see those things. They were so much better quality. Clearly, people had the money, and especially my family, like as I have come to America, and India is less and less socialist, has become wealthier. Like I have watched them become significantly wealthier. My cousin, those who stayed, those who are back there.
Yeah. So clearly, when we talk about the things we talk about, whether it's the economy, whether it's finance, whether it's business, whether it's tariffs, whether it's socialism, whether whatever we're talking about just from real experience, from people that have actually done this stuff before. And I think we've got too many people on the internet that again are keyboard warriors. They're suddenly experts on things when in fact they've never really experienced. So we've got a great comment here. This is again, we'll get the super chat in a second. Dennis Nielsen DK says, you both don't seem to know the difference between socialism and social democracy. And this is the thing, like I said, my wife literally lived where this thing existed. And my guess is, Dennis, you've never lived anywhere like that. And again, you probably read a textbook. You probably some guy talk about it on the internet. Again, you're getting live. This is why the live stream format is going to become more popular than cable television, more popular than these guys that are talking on X, more popular than the people that are making YouTube videos that you guys go back and watch because you're getting real time, real information from people that do real things. And what we're seeing is that our economy, guys, I've told you guys many times, you don't have innovation in this country. You think you have innovation, but the innovation that we should have in this country has been strangled by essentially a dozen, 2 dozen companies that control everything, right? They buy up all the other little companies, they buy up all the brands. Like I say it all the time. You think you're buying when you buy a Whirlpool, a washing machine, you're buying a Whirlpool. You're like, fuck that. I don't want to buy that. I want to go buy whatever, a Maytag. Well, they're owned by the same company, right? You think you're buying a different product by buying another brand, but you're not. They're all owned by the same companies, right? And it's no bueno, guys. Okay, let's take it to our last super chat. Last super chat here is I appreciate your insight. Have a beautiful day. And again, I really appreciate you. Thanks for all the super chats. And again, we love people that put in the super chats. You get your comment read right away. And again, just show support for the channel. We don't make money on YouTube. This isn't a money making endeavor for me or my wife. We just talk about things as normal people because we want to expose people to what life is really like according to us. And we're hoping that other people out there kind of have similar opinions and we can bat all of these ideas around. So again, appreciate it, dude. Have a great day and have a good weekend if we don't see you again. Okay, scrolling to the end, guys, and coming back. All right, let's see if we can find someone in here who hasn't been in. We haven't talked to who's this? The we flew 5150. Okay, it's one thing to build a fortune off of needs. It's another to make sham wow, then slap chop, then the snuggie. Yeah, see, it's all allowed. It's all allowed, sure, but we sold put. Oh, excuse me, we sold Pontiac and Saturn for what? Okay, you know what to make of that, honey?
I need to get coffee.
Okay. So the truth
I'll be
is
back.
bye. The truth is that Pontiac and Saturn were sold because they're shit products. And again, it goes to what I was just telling you guys. So Pontiac and Saturn were both owned by General Motors. And again, this is what I was literally talking about. You think you're buying a different product. You're like, man, that General Motors sure is a piece of shit. Oh my God, we'll try a Chevy. Oh, that Chevy sure is a piece of shit. Oh, we'll try a Saturn. Oh, I'll try a Hummer. Okay. They're all owned by the same company. So again, you think you're trying something different when in fact you're not. So what you're saying about with Sham Wow, again, I don't know exactly what you're saying there, dude. Again, are you saying that you can build a fortune making a Sham Wow? Like, I get it. Maybe I'm not following you there, but I appreciate your comment. All right, Rumpelstiltskin 2. It only works if you have money to begin with. Yeah, that's not true. Again, I grew up very poor. I didn't have a lot of it. My mom grew up extremely poor. None of us had any money, but I got really good at making furniture and turned it into as a furniture maker where I generally made about 80 grand a year most of my life. I had years where I made over $100,000 a year, right? You don't have to follow the path to be able to make this country. The secret, in my opinion, is just work hard. Like, just work hard, be honest, show up on time, volunteer for everything. And that's it. And eventually you become the person that gets the opportunity because you're always there. And you get the cynical people, they'll tell you, no, that's not really how it works. That's bullshit. My boss doesn't like me. I gotta wait for so and so to be gone, all this and there's an element of truth to that, but the most part, hard work always wins. And that's honestly how I see it. So again, I don't think you don't have to come for money. You don't have to have money in the beginning to make things work. I'm 46 years old. I met my wife, what, 78, actually 8 years ago at this point. And again, she had this little company going on, paint and vintage furniture. I helped her come in. I showed her how to make some things. I showed her how to fix things. I showed her how to do different things to furniture. We grew this thing up to where we have 9 different revenue streams. And again, we're not rich. We don't have we're just middle class people, but we employ 9 people who are also middle class, and we do it as an American furniture company. So it can be done. But again, if we have the situation where we're in right now, where it's very difficult for small business to operate in this country, it does get much more difficult. And again, I tell you guys all the time, one of the reasons that small business and large business utilizes the third world is because they don't want to operate in this regulatory environment that we have here. And again, you could say, well, that's bullshit. They should. Well, okay, great. Put the tariffs on. This is what I advocate for. Okay. Kick the third world out of here. Kick the people that don't care about regulations and permitting and inspections and tort law and labor law, right? Kick those people out so that the people that do, the Americans, will act accordingly. So anyway. All right, Kyle Jackson, man. Kyle Jackson's 20. Can you say constitutional republic? Yes, again, I can. I know everyone always wants to. If I use a general word to describe something, you guys always get me on the semantics of it. No, say, but great comment. Okay, see the we flew 5150. Yeah, and divorced people tell you marriage is awful. Don't do it. What's your point? Again, I think marriage is great. I've been divorced twice. I'm on my third marriage. You keep swinging, man. You keep going at it. Again, just because you were wronged or you had a shitty situation, like, doesn't mean that you just give up and take your chips and go home. Like, no, you jump back on the horse and fucking get moving. So I'm not sure what you're saying there, dude. All right, Dennis Nielsen, India was never fully socialist. Okay, got it. Got it. Thanks, Dennis. Okay, let's say, hey, and again, I'm not Dennis. I appreciate your comment, dude. Thanks. Bros acted like India is a nice place. No, no one's saying it's a nice place. Again, it's gotten better. Again, my wife was sending me pictures last time she was there, and there's literally like fucking holes in the sidewalk. You got camels, you got rickshaws, you got trucks, you got cars, you got people. They're all operating in the same place. The dust is terrible. The petroleum is terrible. The pollution's terrible. So I don't know what you guys are saying, but appreciate you putting your comment in there. All right, socialism is a process of continual decline. Yeah, probably. I agree. But again, socialism only proliferates because the people that are the capitalists, the business owners, the people that create the jobs, don't take care of the people. This is just how I see it. Again, I own a business. I got 9 people to work for me, and again, I treat my employees the way employees should be treated. Probably one of the reasons I'm not stupid rich, right? Is because I do pay my guys a living wage. I do pay them enough money to buy cars, buy houses, have kids, do the work they need to do. Because again, I got great customers. My customers pay us a lot of money to make this stuff, and our customers take care of us. We take care of our customers. We take care of our employees, and our employees take care of us, right? And this is how it works. Everybody works together. But it's a mindset that isn't super popular anymore. So, and it's easy to talk shit on the internet, guys. So very difficult to actually do it in real life. All right, Son says he's saying it improved and changed, not solved itself. Yeah, and I get this is the problem, Son. You get a lot of people, they hear what they want to hear. You get a lot of people that don't really listen that well, which is probably why they are where they are, if I'm being completely honest. And again, India's making progress. They're a country with 1.3 billion people. They don't have enough space for all the people that they have, and they do the best that they can. And again, you can always shit on a country like India. It's super easy to do, but you can also shit on a country like America. So again, everyone. The point is, in anyone's situation, any country's progress, like, you just keep working to do better. That's all you can do. But at the end of the day, you got to take care of your people. All right, she said so. Okay, yes, I appreciate it. All right, Kamar Lee Josephs, this is fake news. Okay, well, good. Tell me what part's fake. Let's bat it back around. Okay, so this is Kumar Lee Joseph. So let us know. France is socialist. I don't know if France is socialist. They could be. I got no idea. All right, Dennis Nielsen, DK, socialist in inspiration, maybe, but never socialist country. And again, we are talking about social democracy. Okay, appreciate it, dude. Again, thanks for the education on socialist democracy. All right, let's see. Sir Ad Dogs in here. Good to see you, dude. Glad you're here. All right, let's see. Make sure I'm keeping up with comments. Okay, good. We're doing okay, guys. I think we're slowing down finally. I think people are getting off to work. Okay, Eric Powell, 7547. Yeah, tell the Indian woman that her country was like typical. I know. And again, this is the thing, Eric Powell. This is one of the reasons that I think people like these streams. I think it's one of the reasons that people are going to come on to do live streams as opposed to, again, watching somebody talk about something when they've never actually been a part of it. So again, when I talk about business, when I talk about making it in this world as a guy that never finished high school, I'm telling you guys how I did it because I actually did it. When I tell you guys about how to start a factory, how to make furniture, how to paint furniture, how to work with metals, all the things I talk about, it's because I do it. I do it every day, and I got guys that do it for me, right? And so, well, when I talk about it, it's just something that I do. I'm not trying to regurgitate what somebody else told me, right? It's like I got to deal with the struggle every day, and I think it's where the platforms are going. So again, I appreciate everyone being here and hanging out this morning. So yeah, guys, go to the resplendentcrow.com if you guys want to see the furniture that we sell. All right, Kumar Lee, Joseph's, she ain't coming back. Bro, go enjoy your life. Weather's nice. Go for a walk. Stop talking. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, dude. Rumple Stiltskin. I'm a finance professional, 35 years. Fantastic. My experience, the bigger the business, the more screwed up it gets. They buy up smaller firms, which stop the innovative process. Yeah, and again, if Rumpelstiltskin, if that's true, again, come into our stream. Give our stream like 5 watches. I don't know that I've seen you before, but give it a good 5 watches, right? We got a lot of people that come in here. We got economists, we got a lot of business owners, we got doctors, we got I'm trying to think of some of the other people. We got people that are doing lawn care businesses. We got handyman in here. We got just regular old Joes in here. We got a lot of cool people in here. And again, if you're in finance, you can help, either clarify some of the things I talk about or just outright push back on the stuff I'm talking about and give people the real information. So I'll put a note in here to remember you. And I hope you're what you say you are. Because again, this is what I've seen. I've seen a lot of businesses, they like to buy up their competition, grow their EBITDA, number go up is always better. And again, it stifles innovation. You create layers of, I would say bureaucracy, but you create layers of everything that makes it harder to get things done, right? It's harder to slow down, it's harder to move up. As a small business, I love it because again, I can change things. I can make a telephone call and change whatever I need to change, which is both good and bad. But okay, Eric Powell. Yep, work hard, I grow poor, and own a couple of houses. Fantastic, Eric Powell. I love it, man. I'm so glad to hear that. And again, Eric Powell's another one of these guys in here. Rumpelstiltskin that's got his shit together. He's doing some fun things. So, all right, shaver, cleaner, shaver. Okay, I should comment there. Mark Mark DeGloria, 4038. It is impossible for Democrats to say anything decent about America. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, we're just in a tricky spot, guys. And again, maybe I need to get back to talking about Trump a little bit, but again, I thought I'd bring my wife on here and talk a little about things. She always hears me down here talking, and I was like, "How do you do that? How do you talk so much?" Now you guys are seeing how it's done. So, um, let's see. Let's see who we got. Let's go a few more comments, guys. Let's see where you guys want to go with the conversation. Otherwise, see, we're at 135 minutes. I think we've probably done enough today. I've got what's in the shop today for you guys. You guys want to see the pretty furniture? You want to see what we've been working on? You want to see what I got going on with the CNC router, which that has turned into a freaking nightmare. But I'm slowly working through all the issues. I literally had to reprogram the CNC router, even though it came from the factory. Apparently, they did not program it correctly. So I'm getting a crash course in how to program a CNC router, which has been a lot of fun. So all right, see, awesome. I don't push much. Just clarify. Hey, man, it's okay. We'll take any insight we can get. The thing about here is what I like is I like it when we have real professionals on here. All right, and maybe not professionals not the right word. We have people that know real stuff. Like I want to know what people think about things because they've done them. Right. The theoretical world doesn't interest me very much. I'm one of these guys. Like I want to know what you know. Why are you an expert? Why should I listen to you? And again, people can take that information and do with it what they will. But I think that we need a lot more of that in this world. So. All right. What states are you in? So my factory is in St. Louis, Missouri. I tell all you guys, if you're ever on the stream, you ever come to St. Louis, hit me up. Right where the business with the pink door. You guys are more than welcome. Just walk right in. Say hi. Hey, the guy that fights with you on YouTube, or hey, I like what you sell. Or hey, I wanted to come here and punch you in the face. Like again, I welcome all comers. And again, it's a real business, a real factory. You want to know how we do things? I'm always happy to show people. So, but we live in Illinois on the border. So, all right, Tiger says no caps. Okay, see, bro, don't use all caps. Yeah, I get people to do the stupid caps bullshit. Okay, guys, I think I made it through most of the comments. Moderators, Sun, Titan, I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all you guys helping out with the moderation and helping us, to get rid of all the bullshit comments and that way we get, stuff that we really like in here. Who's this? Briar shit Barcelona. Man, I cannot say your name. 9471. Okay. Did you talk about the French central bank removing their gold stored in America as a result of American economic decline? No, I didn't. I did read that story, and this is not the first time that that's happened. There was another story about that happening a while back. They did the same thing. I think it was during COVID, if I remember correctly. And it might not have been. I thought it was France, though. And I don't know if any of that's true. Again, I'm not an expert on gold reserves. I'm not an expert on economic policy. I'm not an expert on the Fed. I'm not. I just know a little bit about it. And again, we got people on here who know a lot more about it than I do. And whenever I talk about it, they come in and clean up my mediocre understanding, my elementary understanding of those things. So I did talk about that story. And I'm probably not going to. It's just not something that I know enough about. Okay. So Eric Pal says, I want to see your shop. So yeah, Eric Pal, I said, I'll do what's in the shop today at noon. Again, jump in there if you have a chance, and you guys can see what we're kind of working on, and show you guys the factory, show you the furniture, show you the paint shop, how we do all the work that we do. All right, Linda Minor Z4B. I'm in Pacific. I have a 1796 farmhouse in restoring. Interesting to talk with you. Okay, when you say you're in the Pacific, so like I said, I ship to Hawaii. I don't know what you're talking about. I've sent several pieces to Hawaii to be correct. To be honest with you, but yeah, I don't know what part. Are you talking Pacific Northwest, right? Like I'm from Oregon, so I don't know if you're talking about working up in the in timber country. So you'll have to let me know exactly what you're talking about. Hit me, send me an email. You can go to theresplendentcrow.com. You can send me an email. You can go to Instagram, modern woodrunner, resplendentcrow.com. You can send me a message. You go to modernwoodrunner.com, send me a message. Like I said, I'm very easy to find. Just Google Eric Wilk, and I'm sure I'll show up. I'd be happy to talk to you. That's very cool. So you got a cool old farmhouse project. I love that. We love helping people. Again, we do design work, we do consulting, we do all kinds of fun stuff. So I got CAD, CAM, I got all of it here. All right, let's see. I enjoyed your channel since chat. All right, cool, man. Rumpelstiltskin, I appreciate it, dude. And again, come back and listen to the next conversation. We're going to talk about Cantillon, right? So we're going to talk about Richard Cantillon. Again, you may know something about him if you're in finance, possibly. Noted economist from the 1700s. So we need to do a cast about him. So, all right, Biznotch, none of the injection molding machines are made in the USA, and molding making is moving to Asia slowly. Our country is falling apart. Yet politicians just visited my factory praising manufacturing. Yeah, guys, this is a major problem, dude. Okay, Biznotch. Let's talk about this. I know we don't have a lot of people in here. A lot of people probably don't want to hear this stuff. I'm gonna get real with you guys on manufacturing and making shit in America. So what Biznotch is talking about is called injection molding, guys. Basically, what you need to think about a die. Okay, you got a male side, you got a female side. You'll have a shape here that moves, whatever, convex, right? And then you got another shape that's the exact copy of it that moves concave, and it moves into each other. Okay, what you have going on here is this guy. He has these two parts that you put together, right? And then you're basically gonna have ports that go into this mold. Okay, and pay attention to me, guys. And Biznatch, you can probably explain this better than I can. But again, I've been to several of these factories. What these guys do is they have these two molds, right? And they're generally made out of aluminum. Okay, they're generally made out of aluminum. Sometimes they're made out of steel. And what they do is they shoot. Think of it like hot plastic into this mold using a massive amount of pressure, and it creates a shape. Right. Think about it like you're creating a toy. And generally, these are going to be solid shapes, right? If you want to make something that's not solid, you'll make one half, you'll make another half, and then you'll glue it together, or they'll put nubs on it and they'll make it so it connects together like a Lego. Okay. Injection molding is a fascinating industry, right? So what's happened is you have all of this work has moved over to Asia, and this is a microcosm for everything that is wrong with America. Okay. So business, clarify anything where I'm wrong. I want to make sure that I speak as best I can. So the issue that you're having is that we have several companies here in St. Louis that do this. I went and talked to all of them because I need to get large 48 inch pieces of what's called faux bamboo molding. I need to get the shit made. Somehow Thomasville and Henry Link got the shit made back in the 70s. I have not figured out how to get it made here. What happened is everyone that I talked to, right, says, "Hey, what do you need made?" Right? We can make anything you want. They take me out, they show me all the machines. They got all the machines here. They got beautiful setups. It's a great operation. The problem is they can't make the dies, right? The dies are CNC cut, they're laser cut in Asia, mostly in China, right? And when I try and get all the stuff made, he'll tell me we can make it here, right? But it's going to cost you about 3 times as much as if we were just to make it over in Asia, right? Because there's not enough people here that do this work. And this is what I tell you guys about supply and demand for small business here in America. We're always told we're bringing back manufacturing. We care about American businesses. Americans can do anything, right? You get like Biznatch is saying, you got the politicians. They'll come to your business saying, look at that. Manufacturing is alive and well in this country. Look at all these Americans working here, right? But at the same time, they're incentivizing that work to be done in the third world. As businesses get bigger and bigger and bigger, scaling, right? Which we can do a whole podcast on scaling. Scaling gets infinitely harder when you do it in America because of the costs. Not because we can't do it. Like we can absolutely do it. But when you have to pay an American worker 32.50 an hour, or you could pay a guy in China 250 an hour, right? You got that delta of $30, right? Very difficult to scale a money without that delta. It's very difficult to scale a business in America without that delta, which is why the first thing you do when you want to grow a company is move as much manufacturing to the third world as you can, because that delta allows you to buy equipment, right? You can buy marketing dollars, right? You could spend money on ads on Google, on YouTube, on Fox News, on X, wherever you want to buy ads. You can create marketing teams. You know, you can pay people to develop more products. You can pay engineers to work on new materials. You can pay on having warehousing and logistics and retail operations with the delta that comes from outsourcing the manufacturing to Chang in China instead of paying Charlie here in America. And this is the great problem that we have here in America, right? We've bastardized what business is here. Okay. And again, we got Rumpelstiltskin's in here, Biznotch is in here. We can listen to what these guys are saying. I want to read their comments. So we're going to bat this thing around. But what's happened is that in order to grow a company in America, it's almost impossible to do it, right? You can get so big and then you have to outsource, because in order to scale there, the amount of money you need to employ people in this country means you can't have retail. You can't have maximum dollars on marketing, right? Exposure, advertising. You can't develop tons of products. You can't go to trade shows. You can't do all these things because there's not enough money, right? And then you'll get all the business experts, all the, here's how to start a business in 10 days, buy my course, and you'll be a business owner in 90 days. What they tell you is they tell you things like, hey, hire out your weaknesses, right? Focus on the things that you're good at. And the truth is, there's no fucking money. That's the truth. But if you hire people in India, or you hire people in China or in Mexico, in any of these places, guess what? Now you got money to work with. And because we've diluted what it means to buy an American product, to buy things from your neighbor, again, no one gives a shit. So if you tell them, hey, they're fucking making their furniture in Vietnam. That's why your credenzas cost $3,000, right? And then you say, oh well, Eric, your credenzas are too expensive. They're 5,000. They're like, yeah, but I got all fucking American workers. I'm paying all American taxes. I'm abiding by all American regulations. Well, I don't have the money. Oh, well, that must be nice. Like, goddamn, man. So anyway, let's see what everyone's got to say about this. This is something that I'm very passionate about. Here we go. Biznach said, none of the injection molding machines are made in the USA, and mold making is moving to Asia. Slowly, our country's falling apart, yet politicians just visit the factory praising manufacturing. Yes, again, and same thing, dude. We have Alton Steel, 276 employees. They just went under. And again, Donald Trump's talking about, again, Fox News. And oh my God, this steel company in Ohio, they're hiring people, they're paying $120,000. I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, I was just told that these guys can't compete because of the cheap steel coming in from China. So what's really going on here? And this goes back to what we started at the very beginning of our conversation. Like, Trump just needs to fucking get back to work. Start working on what he campaigned on. Get the fuck out of the Middle East. And again, he'll crush the competition. He'll make sure Republicans win re-election. But again, Donald Trump doesn't want to do that. So Census says, I think it was a pounds of gold, but could be wrong. They wanted 1,400 pounds, but got only 300 something. Yeah, okay, you guys are still talking about. Oh, so yeah. I'm sorry, Linda. You're in Pacific. You're in Pacific, Missouri. Okay, you're just down the street from me. Well, you know what? You need to come and visit us. Come to the Splendid Crow, or if you need help, give me a call, reach out to me, and I'd be happy to come visit you. Like I said, I go out to Pacific all the time. I used to go out there and run. In oh God, was it Rockwood? Rockwood over there by Six Flags. Beautiful hills over there, Wildwood and all that. So yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. All right, the injection molding machines used to be made by Uniloy. Okay, I haven't heard of that. It sounds like a very American business. So let's see, Hoover Universal. Yeah, okay. Well, clearly, Rumpelstiltskin, you know something about this. So this is fantastic. My dad worked for Uniloyal, and there you go, guys. Again, businesses back in the day, like, people used to talk about this thing. Businesses used to keep their employees for 30, 40, 50 years. Okay. There was a great relationship. There was loyalty. The business was loyal to the employee, and the employee was loyal to the business. And all of that is shattered. When we let China into the World Trade Organization, when we signed NAFTA, when we started sending everyone to college and telling the businesses, oh my God, you're going to have the pick of the litter. This is where it all went wrong, guys. And again, I talk about, I almost talk about this every stream. Like, the inflection point for this country was 2001, right? And again, watch 2001, we started sending all the work to China, right? Bringing all that money back in here. Watch what happened to finance and capital investment companies. They started growing. Watch what happens to the M2 money supply around 2003. It starts to move up. That's printed money, guys. That is money in circulation. It starts to run up. Fast forward to 2008, it starts to really ramp up. And then from there, it stays in the same trajectory until we get to COVID, and then it goes off the fucking map. Okay. This is what's happened to this country. And again, I advocate for tariffs, cutting off the third world, kicking the third world out of this country, making American businesses deal with Americans. Make America deal with the people that are in poverty, the people that are the undesirables, the people that, again, haven't had a good lot in life, haven't had a good shake at things. Making these businesses look their citizens in the eye and say, you know what? Here's why I can't hire you. I'm going to go hire another American because this American will do thing A, B, and C. Not, hey, I'm going to go bring in Jose or I'm going to go send your job to Chang, who I don't have to look in the eye at all. Okay, so anyway. All right, continue on. Okay, started my dad worked for Uniloyal. Okay, Rob says started my career at Hoover Universal, blow molding and tool crib. That is freaking awesome, man. Again, it is so cool that we get you kind of you people on here. I love the fact that we all know about injection molding and we all kind of have a different experience with it. That's freaking awesome. Very cool. All right, Honda in Michigan. Yeah, it could be. Again, I said bring all the manufacturing companies over here. Again, I got Trump was right. Like again, I bash the guy a lot, right? With this whole Israel and the Middle East and the war bullshit. Like I bash him a lot, but Trump was on the right track. He started with a 50% tariff on China, 46% on Vietnam. He had tariffs on Japan. He had tariffs on India. He had tariffs for every single country, right? And he did this as a negotiating tactic, right? He did this as a way to get the foreign companies to start making their shit here in America and hiring Americans, right? There's a great movie, guys. Go on Netflix. It's called The Factory. Watch what happens when a Chinese glass company goes into Ohio and turns an automotive plant into a glass plant. And then they try and hire Americans and bring this work back to this American factory that is owned by the Chinese. It is a fascinating movie about what we need to do in this country to bring back work here. Okay. Again, the Chinese, they want to invest here. Honda in Japan wants to invest here. Companies, Mercedes Benz, they want to invest here. Americans, kind of lazy. And he had no shade on anyone. I get you're the fucking person that works hard. I don't know what I'm talking about. I get it. Don't take offense to it. Go watch The Factory. You'll see that that's the problem. Again, Americans, we got it made. We got all this land. We got homes. We got benefits. We got cars. We got kids. We got everything. The mountains, the oceans, the waterways, the lakes. It's beautiful. Everyone looks at what America has and they think that we're taking it for granted. So fascinating movie, guys. Go watch it. It's really cool. All right, let's see. In Washington County. Okay, you guys are talking about what Honda's got going on. That's cool. I live in Cincinnati. Oh, fantastic. I think the place is Manchester, maybe. Okay, okay, good. You guys got this conversation going on here. I got to work there too. News says foreign injection molding machines, foreign based plastics and additives, now foreign molds. What's the reason not to ship overseas completely? Yeah, business. This is what I'm talking about. Again, say what you will about Donald Trump, and again, I've said plenty, but the guy understands that you have to bring manufacturing back to this country. Right? Everyone says, "Oh my God, you don't want to do those jobs. That's for losers, right? If you take a shower after you come home from work, that means you failed in life. Oh my, you're going to be a ditch digger." I've heard this my entire life, right? And again, Trump was the first president in my lifetime who actually spoke like he knew what a blue collar guy goes through, right? What a blue collar guy is dealing. What's happened? What my dad told me that basically when we signed NAFTA, my dad told me like, "Oh my God, we're in deep shit." Right? They're going to send all the work out of here. Right? They're going to get rid of all the blue collar people that make shit in this country. They're going to get rid of all of us, and that's what happened. Not completely. I'm generalizing a little bit. That is what happened. Like there's no denying it. All you got to go do is just go look at the numbers. So um, yeah, that's crazy. But again, the incentive right now is to ship everything overseas. And I told you guys before, my business is furniture. I understand the furniture industry, and when I talk to you guys about how furniture is made in the third world, people don't believe me, right? So what you guys have to understand about making things in the third world is that most businesses that send their work to the third world, they don't own their own factories over there. They don't have their own employees. They don't have nothing. Absolutely nothing. They don't own anything until that furniture comes here, in one of the ports, whether it's, whatever, Los Angeles or Savannah or Corpus Christi, wherever that stuff is coming in, okay? Restoration Hardware is the big daddy in the furniture space, right? These guys, they make all their shit in Vietnam and China, and they're slowly moving out of China because it's getting too expensive, and they're moving to Vietnam, okay? All the factories are owned by the Vietnamese government, are owned by the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, okay? Restoration Hardware owns none of it. So that makes your balance sheet look pretty fucking awesome when you don't have to have any CapEx, right? The CapEx that you have is essentially retail locations, private jets, and yachts because you're trying to create an image of how amazing your furniture is that's made in the third world, okay? All the incentives in this country are wrong, right? And then again, when you make the investor class, the class that everyone cares about, well, then why wouldn't you send all your fucking work to the third world? Why not? Because the voters, right? The voters, the class A and the class B shareholders of your company, they're going to vote for you to continue to do this thing because it increases the stock price. It increases the value of their shares, right? It increases the dividends that they get paid every quarter. So they love this. Like, keep sending the jobs over there, bringing it over here, EBITDA number go up, share price go up. This is great for investors. Let's keep doing this thing. And then eventually you end up with what we were talking about originally with a socialist running for mayor of the financial capital of America, which is New York City. This is where it's all going, guys. And I tell you, the same thing what we talked about earlier with Donald Trump. If Donald Trump doesn't right this ship, everyone that got that guy elected is going to vote Democrat, and we're going to usher in the healthcare that apparently people want, right? The childcare that apparently people want, the affordability that people want, and they're going to do it at the expense of the wealthy, of people like me. And guess what? I'm just going to pay it, and I'm going to support all these policies until fucking Caesar shows up and says, "I'm gonna crush everyone." That's what I want. That's the only way I'm gonna get what I want, which is true capitalism, true innovation, and true patriotism. So let me get back. So sorry, I know I'm gonna lose a lot of people when I talk like that, but here we go. Last couple of comments, guys. Now I gotta get out of here. Biznach says, that's why I voted for Trump. Yeah, me too, Biznach. Again, I think you and I are in the same boat, and this is why I'm so disappointed with him. I literally feel like a knife was stuck in my fucking back, and so I'm not voting Republican. I'm gonna keep voting Democrat. I'll pay the taxes. Bring in all the fucking everyone can have 10 college degrees. We'll pay for it all. Pay off the student loans. Give out universal. Give it all up. Okay, because again, it will bring a megalomaniac, fucking crazy Caesar, Hitler-esque figure to run, and America will vote for him. Okay. Because apparently we can't get anything done in this country. Even though we voted for Donald Trump to do all these things, he had this great platform. He was going to give us what it is we wanted. And it wasn't even that crazy, if I'm being completely honest. He can't do it. He just can't do it. It's too bad. All right, sloth prop. Tariffs across the band weren't the way to bring manufacturing back. Yeah, and sloth and dude, I agree with you. I agree 100%. But I do advocate for 400% tariffs on the third world. That's kind of a blanket thing because, again, I want all the manufacturing to be done here in America. And again, Trump nailed it when he started putting tariffs on and started talking to other countries. Well, other countries are like, well, hey, we'll put more factories in here, right? And again, automotive is where it's at right now. AI companies, right? This is thanks to the Middle East, right? Chips, right? Thanks to Joe Biden. Say what you will about the guy. He's the guy that helped make that happen through TMCU, right? A Taiwanese semiconductor company over Taiwan that is building the largest fab plant in Arizona. And I think they're making chips already. So across the board, you're probably right. It's probably not the best way to do it. But again, at some point, you have to crush the incentive to produce products in the third world. You need to crush the incentive to bring the third world in here, and you need to create the incentive for people to start small businesses, to create the incentive for people to start families, create the incentives to get people into homes, create the incentives to make Americans not make, but to promote patriotism, right? To promote what's good for the average person, promote what's good for the youth, the generations that are coming behind us. We got to make life look fucking awesome for them. And if we act the way that we're acting today, if we see the infighting that we got to, oh, we're just going to go fight more wars. We're going to let this little tiny country that none of us are ever going to go to have more influence than the fucking people that vote in this country. We're not doing that for the youth. We're not doing that for the next generations. We're not making America great again. We're not making America what it used to be. We're not bringing back the thing that got me excited about working 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week for 2 decades. Okay. I liked buying nice houses. I liked having nice cars. I liked having a wife. I liked having kids. I liked going on vacation. I liked all this shit. Okay. If we don't create that world, you're going to end up where we're going to have a fucking Mandami in every major city in America. And the people will take what is theirs. So it's scary times, guys. All right, Rumpelstiltskin, foreign business cannot afford to do business here in the U.S. Foreign business will adjust their practices to try and maintain an advantage in our market, lowering profits, but maintaining volume. Yeah, and again, Rumpelstiltskin, man, you get that's actually a fantastic comment. Hold on. Let's see what your next comment is. That's why CPI, PPI, and KPI is stable. Okay, so let me let's open up that conversation for a second. Okay. So I agree with what you're saying. Okay, I agree with it. give me this. Would you also agree that when we put tariffs on the third world, would you agree that Americans eat all those tariffs? Because I hear this all the time. And again, as a tariff guy, right? I actually manufacture products in India and I bring them in here to America, right? So I understand how this works. Um, it's my belief that we business owners ate most of that. And the people that ate the rest of that were the people that you're talking about, the people in China, the people in India, the people in Mexico, right? Not Mexico specifically, but China, right? They ate that because they need to be in America. Because again, just like I got people that need to be fed, I got to make sales, right? I got to make revenue. Otherwise, my people don't get fed, right? They don't have homes. I don't get the right paychecks. It's the same thing in China. So these guys are willing to eat a decent chunk of that tariff because they need to sell their product into America. Americans not only buy more of everything made in the third world, we pay higher prices than anywhere else in the world. So the market that America has, which Donald Trump clearly explains, and I thought was really fascinating, meant that most of the tariffs were being eaten by the business owners and the people in the third world that were trying to sell their products into America. So let me know if you agree with that. I'm very curious. All right, Mike Murphy. And again, Rumpelstiltskin, in case you don't know, I've broken down how I tackled tariffs many times, right? So if you want me to tell you exactly what I did, I'm happy to do it. But I've talked about it many times. So, all right, Mike Murphy, VG31X. Have a good day, man. Yeah, I know, Mike Murphy. I got to get out of here too, dude. I'm just, I give you guys what you want. I try and interact with people. I really appreciate everyone spending their time here. All right, business 2% tariff on manufactured, I believe, would be the best thing in this country. Yeah, it would be helpful. It would be helpful. It would create a mini recession, but that's again, I think we need a recession in this country. Yep, Trump sold us out for his BS war. Very disappointing. I agree, dude. I agree. Business, there's no other better ideas other than tariffs that I'm hearing, and I have a lot of resentment towards the boomer generation more and more lately. Yeah, the more we're learning about the boomer generation, it's really sad. It's really sad. And you see it today. They've been protecting themselves forever, and now that they're starting to retire and they're starting to die off, they're still protecting themselves. The people that are in government won't leave, which are the boomer generations. They won't implement new ideas. We got people in government right now. They still fucking think that we get all of our oil from OPEC, that we get all of our oil from Saudi Arabia. That God, if Iran destabilizes the Middle East, like God, that's going to affect Americans' ability to get oil. We're gonna have gas lines again. They still think that. They still think that fucking missiles, are off the coast of Cuba, and that Russia's the greatest adversary. Again, we are not allowed to innovate. We're not allowed to come up with new ideas in this country because the fucking boomers won't let us. Fox News, they've got themselves wrapped around Donald Trump and they're telling Donald Trump, that fucking everything revolves around Israel. It's really wild what has happened to this country, and again, it's not all the boomers' fault, but again, like, what are you guys going to give less of? Are you guys just gonna create more and more trust, get rid of more and more death tax, and just hold on to that wealth forever? Like, at some point, you're gonna have to give up some of that wealth, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Um, just look at the stats. Like, the boomers own everything. They won. They won the game of capitalism. Like, congratulations. How are you gonna help the next generation? You just gonna fucking relegate them to pick yourself up by your bootstraps? You gonna relegate them to go get another fucking college degree? You gonna relegate them to go get more debt? How are you gonna help these guys? So anyway, I'm yeah, I get so frustrated. All right, Zerobo says, yes, that's it. Unread my comment. Okay, well, cool. Rumble says, so maybe I've got a convert there. All right, Hunter Chaplin, you got last comment. 2938. There are now three parties, left, right, and diehards. Yeah, Hunter, that's a great way to end the discussion. I don't see it that way. But again, I'm glad that you think that we're hardliners. I don't think of it that way. I think I voted for a guy. He won the election. He won in an overwhelming, dominant fashion that we hadn't seen since Ronald Reagan. And the truth is that he was elected to do something. And if he doesn't want to do it, fine. I'm not voting for any more Republicans. I'm not voting for any more of Trump's sycophants. I'm not voting for any more of this MAGA bullshit. I'm waiting for Caesar. I'm waiting for the guy that is literally going to run on crushing dissent. And again, that's not super capitalist. It's very authoritarian, but voting doesn't work. It doesn't work in this country. And again, you show me an example of when voting works that involves a Republican, and I'm happy to bat it back and forth a bit. Again, it seems like the Democrats, they're fantastic. They treat their voter base really well. They say, hey, what we're going to take from the rich, we're going to give to the poor, and that's what they do. They tell you guys, we're going to give you universal health care. They give you universal health care. All I wanted was some fucking like some hardcore tariffs. Make things easier for Americans here, right? Make American businesses have to hire the people in this country by getting rid of manufacturing in the third world. and kicking the third worlders that are in here doing all your guys' labor that you don't want to do. Get rid of those fucking people. That's all I wanted. I don't think it was very complicated. But Trump can't do it, So anyway, but Dr. Chapman, I love your comment, dude. And again, I appreciate you putting it in there. Okay, as business returns here, competition blooms, creating innovation, lowering costs, practice, but it takes time to move through the economy. Yep, dude. And again, Rumpelstiltskin. It sounds like you and I are simpatico on how to fix this economy. And again, you'll have a mini depression. It will get shitty for a lot of people. The problem is that again, when you ask the normal person, what are you willing to take less of? They got nothing because again, everyone needs something for the federal government. The federal government is essentially a third of all the spending that we have in this country. That's insane. That basically means that productive people are paying into a system, and then the government is dispersing a third of the money in an inefficient, no ROI having way. They're not doing what a business owner would do. They're not doing what would actually help grow this economy, grow this country. That's not how they spend it. They take from people that are doing that, and then they give to people that are not. They give to their pet causes. They give to the military industrial complex. They give it to foreign countries. They give it to NGOs, their pet projects. Maybe they'll give a little bit to fucking the Epstein class. They'll give kickbacks to people. They've turned this country into a lottery and a stock market by manipulating the stock market, manipulating oil prices, manipulating things that are happening in the foreign government, and all these people are getting rich. It's fucking disgusting what has happened in this country. So anyway, guys, I gotta go. Let's see. Modown84 says you're delusional. All right, dude. Let me know next time. Next time, come back in the chat. Let me know where I'm delusional, and happy to bat it for you. 100% of the lamp gives away. He is a lifelong Democrat pretending to be a disgruntled Republican. All right, cool. Dude. I appreciate it. Jessica Lila Berte, traitor, Saddam Trump, draft dodger, coward, liar, human. Yeah, and again, but all that shit doesn't matter, man. It only matters what you guys do. It only matters what our president does. And again, if he's not responsive to the people that put him in office, what's the point? What's the point of voting? What is the point of voting? Sorry, guys, I've been talking too long. All right, here we go. Rumpelstiltskin, let's see, with a lid. All right, with all due respect, but aren't you a boomer? You're probably bored and it's no, no, no. 79, dude. So I'm the first part of Gen X. So, but I appreciate you letting me know. All right, guys, I gotta go. I appreciate everyone hanging out here, and I appreciate everyone's comments. We got some new people in here. I appreciate everyone that comes in and follows the channel. Again, you guys are the reason we have the explosive growth. This channel is growing. It grows month over month by like 400%. We're getting lots of watchers in here. Appreciate all these super chats. Appreciate all my moderators. You guys don't know, but there's people in the back end here that are getting rid of all the bullshit comments, and that really helps to get real high quality stuff in here, at least for the most part. Again, I like to fight with you guys. I love when you push back on me and educate me. I hope that there's a benefit here for you, and that I'm respectful of your time and you appreciate what we do here. So guys, we do this every day 6 o'clock. I'm doing what's in the shop at 12 today, so you guys can see what's in the shop, all the beautiful furniture, all the machines, all the stuff that we got going on there, and I'm happy to show you guys. You guys have a great day, and I'll